friends, we're so glad you could attend. Come inside, come inside.
G.I. Jane jump.
Yes. Hello, one. Hello, all. Welcome back to the second time in 2022. I come to you as sometimes as CP.
And sometimes from Infuegotainment, but most notably the horror show. I'm Jaime Infuego.
And I'm Lindsay of My 2 Cents of Nonsense, still, believe it or not. Still going with it.
Hi, Chauncey K. Robinson. Just the CKR.
Yeah.
Hey, Bob from Organized Chaos.
Woo.
And I'm Patrick from Movie Talk Plus.
Yes, and those last two you may not know on a regular basis. They're joining us. Bob, before this show was called Show Business, Bob was a part of this show. So if you don't know him, you're getting a bit of an education here. And Patrick's a good friend of the show. He famously last year was an enemy of the channel for the April Fool's gag. And anybody who takes that much heat a couple days in a row is okay in my book. And so
yeah, I'm still waiting for my Oscar for that performance.
Badge of honor. Do it up.
Okay, so we got everybody in the chat. We got Dice, we got Patrick, we got Tim, Dice, Jake, Aaron. Two Aarons. We got two Aarons. We got Aarons plural, and we're all caught up. Okay, so I'm not going to do the weekend that was because hello Matt, how are you? The year is we're still not pre-COVID as far as statistics are concerned, but I will catch us up with the year as far as international grosses. First is Batman with 760 million. Second is Watergate Bridge with 626. I don't know what the hell that is.
Interesting. I've never heard of it. That's news to me.
Uncharted comes in third with 394. Fantastic Beasts, not with Johnny Depp, is 329. Number 5 is Sonic the Hedgehog 2 with 323. Those are all international grosses, and we're almost halfway through the year. So, it's an odd year. It's just an odd year.
Things are getting more normal after COVID, but it's not
normal-ish.
Yes.
Yeah, if Tom Cruise is willing to finally release a film of his, then I think it's getting at least a little normal, right? So.
Which apparently
exists.
Apparently it's actually quite good. I've heard that Top Gun is doing with who've seen it, which doesn't really mean much to me. Or a bunch of Paramount execs
at this point.
Myers Teller's mom says it was great.
Everybody in the Tom Cruise fan club said it was great.
Yeah, because I know
one critic wrote it was the best film in 10 years.
What?
The gushing on social media for it has been nuts since the CinemaCon debut.
I know.
That's interesting to hear.
No, Twitter and shit like that. I don't listen to that.
Chill.
Everyone that wants to keep access. Love
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. You might as well just write, please send merch to, and then give your comment.
Best movie I've ever seen in my life. Please send to.
Would you guys like to know what Watergate Bridge is, by the way? I don't think I'm ready for this.
I need to know.
Yeah.
It is the alternate name for the battle at Lake Changjin 2.
So it's a Chinese film. Then.
A Chinese epic war film that commemorates the 100th anniversary of the Chinese Communist Party.
Not propaganda at all, right?
Yeah. It is one of the highest grossing films of the year. That's amazing.
So that's for international, though, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that makes sense.
Yeah. But I just wasn't ready for that when I heard Watergate Bridge.
I didn't realize Dinesh D'Souza started making movies in China.
Oh,
yeah, I didn't know that either. That's what it sounds like.
Oh, speaking of which, I apologize if I got everyone excited. That his movie comes out next week, so you're spared from hearing me talk about him this week.
Who, Dinesh?
Oh,
yeah, he's got something coming out next week.
Well, why are we talking about Doctor Strange? We need to talk about that.
Yeah, there you go. Seriously.
I guess we could, and then we'll open with what we haven't, what's coming up, and then we'll get to what we have seen, and then roll on with the news.
Cool.
Doctor Strange, which appears to be in line with this multiverse. Well, the title's multiverse. The whole, hey, look, we have characters from things that you've seen and other things, and it's okay because it's part of the storyline. How do we feel about that?
Yeah, since I was jumping at it, I think it's one of the most organic ways to actually find some resolution for the fact that Marvel characters are owned by Disney, formerly Fox, obviously, and Sony. And it's the best way to kind of bridge all these weird gaps and stuff is doing the whole alternate universe thing. And then you can cherry pick and, pick and choose and do all that stuff. And I think it's one of the wisest moves that they've decided to go with. So,
yeah.
And there's a lot of potential in it. Like I'm not a huge fan of the Venom movies, and I don't want to get into any spoilers here. So if you haven't seen any of the new Spider-Man stuff, maybe go away for a minute. But I thought that was a really cute way to introduce Venom into the MCU. Just have him just there for 2 seconds, and then he's gone.
I didn't even notice.
Right there. Yeah, no, it was.
Yeah,
in
he
the
was
end
there
credits.
for a heartbeat.
Yeah, if that, it was No Way Home, right? It was in the post credits for that, I think, right?
Well, it was the post credits for Venom 2 and No Way Home.
Oh, that's right. Venom 2 set it up, and then Spider-Man. That's right.
Yeah, that's his entire time in the MCU.
And then just a little piece got left behind, and it was just like, dun, dun, dun.
And Sony will mess it up. Don't worry.
Probably.
That's
but Morbius was so good.
We'll get there.
I still haven't seen Morbius yet, but I'm excited for it still.
Are you really?
You don't need to.
I just feel, well, I guess we'll talk about it when we get there. I just feel like some people, people want Jared Leto to fail sometimes, so it's always stacked up against him.
Your check's in the mail, Chauncey, because
what?
No. Because we have a dual purpose when we talk about Morbius, and you brought up the other half, so that's nice. It makes it look organic. Although even though I brought it up now it doesn't look so organic.
I think they just had too much time to overthink it, and I heard that there were so many different edits of that shown to test audiences, and then longer cuts, shorter cuts.
Stop.
I believe
with the test audiences.
I also agree with that. I believe Fuego, but I agree with that.
No more test audiences. My thing is you should fill out a questionnaire, and you should have some vague interest in the property to be able to be a part of the test audience, not just some fucking schmuck who wants to kill a random Tuesday night and get a free movie.
Yeah,
it has to be
a gift card too, and it's yup, we're gonna pay you for your time.
yeah. There has to be more than just I don't know. If I was an actor and I was making money on the back end of this, I'd be like, listen, get these 60-year-olds out of the audience, put some teenagers out there. Let's really make this a test audience that could make us money and maybe perhaps make this a thing.
Oh, yeah.
You're sprinkling. Listen, this isn't an election. You don't have to have the United States of Benetton covered in the audience. Some people aren't going to come watch this. So
but don't 60-year-olds have more money?
Probably not wrong.
Tickets are like $20-some odd dollars.
Yeah.
Most of your young people that we're talking about, a lot other people, not me, but they go to like certain other sites to watch things. They can't.
I don't know what you're talking about. My uncle's very nice.
I'm just saying, and also wouldn't that me a little bit more of a bias too, right? Because it's like a lot of the times I feel like they make these movies because they want something of a larger audience at times. So
yeah.
They want to expand, I mean, could you imagine if they had done, I don't know, did they do test audience for Star Wars? I mean, if they had, maybe the fanboys wouldn't have liked what happened with Rey and all that stuff.
God.
But they did it so that it could appeal to people who might not go to see it and see what they'd say.
Well, I know there's also screenings with like a specific age group that they're looking for. Like I've seen them where they're like, okay, this is a 12 to 25 or 18.
That's what I approve of that more. Like I'm some authority.
Yeah, I just think the way they do test audiences, it doesn't work. Like
it doesn't
just pull people off the street and be like, hey, what do you think about this movie? And you show like some 60-year-old woman like a super new horror movie, they're not gonna like it.
Yeah.
What do y'all have against 60-year-olds? Like,
you know what?
They don't go to
and I'm going with the
aged
flow.
out for y'all. I don't know, 60. Y'all are gonna be 60 one day. We all are. You better hope they still invite us.
And I have no intentions on going to the theater.
And I'm suddenly thinking the scene in Dumb and Dumber where he's like, it's true what they say. Despite being slow and dangerous behind the wheel, senior citizens can still serve purpose.
So a few years ago, I was at one of those early test screening type things for. If I've told this story before here, I apologize. It was the Money Monster, the George Clooney movie. And they would after they were collecting cards and be like, hey, what'd you think about the movie to a lot of people? And to the two people before me and the two people after me, they're like, oh, hey, just go up front and hang out for a second. We want to talk to you. And the two people, I don't remember what it said, but all four of them were a mixture of either it was amazing or I hated it. And I was just like, I thought it was pretty fun. They didn't want me, but they wanted the people that hated it and loved it. And that I think that's, I don't know, maybe it's not like that all the time, but maybe that's the thing. They go for the extremes. So they either have to drastically alter it or everything is perfect.
Squeaky wheel, Lindsay. Yeah, squeaky wheel.
That's what I get for trying to be nuanced. Damn it.
Yeah.
I talked to someone who went to a what was it? The Black Phone screen test.
Oh, what? I'm jealous.
And it was so interesting because their first thing was they told them that they couldn't tell the difference between the different victims, between the guys or whatever. It just seemed like it's the same people over and over again type of a thing. Okay. And so that'll be interesting if they did anything about that. Like maybe if they tried to switch something out, make it more diverse or whatever like that. But it's interesting sometimes, depending on who they get to see it, the kind of opinion, someone would have.
Yeah. I'm saying as somebody who got kicked out of one, and
I remember you said,
and they still haven't even released it yet, have they?
No, that's Run, Sweetheart, Run has not been released. I'm like, it makes me even more angry. Like I want to know what the big deal is now. But I did attend another one, and what I saw wasn't what was released. And it seems as if the base, this was a franchise film that I saw, and the base of fans weren't too pleased with what they got. And what I saw was pretty fucking incredible if I were to be a part of that group. And it's just like, all right, great. I don't know. Did you make enough money to piss off your fan base? Because yeah, placated to the people in your audience that filled out their dumb little cards, but your fans are a little less excited about the next one.
Which comes in October, right? So
yeah, I don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, we're talking about Halloween didgeridoo, right? So whatever it is.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know what you're talking about.
Electric Boogaloo.
Man, I still can't get over Halloween Kills. That was what was the ending to that movie?
Dude. She was on the phone.
Mm-hmm.
She was on the phone to Jamie Lee saying, we got him, da da da. And then he slashes her from behind. The phone drops. Jamie Lee's listening to her daughter get murdered. And it's just so powerful. And you're like, oh, fuck, this is brutal. And then Michael picks up the phone and she says, Michael, I'm going to fucking kill you.
Oh, I forgot about that.
And then that's how the movie ends. You're like, holy shit, this is awesome. Put the next one on now.
Yeah,
I wonder, like, is it going to pick up right there? Is there going to be like a time? It's got to pick up right there, right?
Nope.
I heard it was gonna be a few years in the future.
Yeah.
I remember I read about that ending that was supposed to be the whole thing about that, but then they said it's supposed to be a few years in the future. And I remember Jamie Lee Curtis was saying that it might upset some people the way it goes, but she felt like it was right, which makes me very worried. I'm just like, that means he's gonna pull something.
That could go
I didn't care for Halloween Kills, but I was happy they finally made a decision to make it overtly that he's supernatural of some sort, because that's always been my issue with this franchise. But
they all are. I mean, honestly, they all are.
What do you mean?
Jason, Freddy, Michael.
No, they've always been consistent. He hasn't.
Yeah.
That's true, actually. Which one is the one with Paul Rudd and the cult, and suddenly it's this whole like religious thing?
Yeah,
he has
the man in the black coat.
He made a thing, and it's like, but before it was like he was just regular. Oh,
I've got the tattoo. Look, I've got the triangle tattoo. I'm special.
Yeah, the whole lore has always been always all over the place. So I felt like, okay, finally they made a decision. I didn't care for Halloween Kills at all, though.
I think they should have just gone with the I don't care that nobody liked it. They should have just kept going with Halloween 3. Just do like a whole universe based around that, and just like make the whole franchise just like fueled by the hatred of people watching it. That would have been fun.
I would be okay with that. Halloween 3 is easily the most underrated of the franchise.
It's pretty good.
I like Halloween 3.
Yeah, there's no Michael though. So
they didn't like it because there was no Michael. Where's Michael Myers?
Yeah.
There's a creepy child murder though.
Yeah, right.
It is weird because Friday the 13th fans, you know, your movie. Yeah. Me too. I can't.
No, CP, you like the Rangers right now. You like sports. You don't like movies.
No.
Wait, that's just a legit hockey mask.
Yeah, I just that's how much I'm a hockey.
That's amazing.
Friday the 13th fan. Like Halloween, shit. Friday the 13th. You would think that people would be pissed that it's not the mom anymore. Like they switched characters and went right with it. Halloween, you no, it's got to be that boy.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, I didn't even think about
I would argue that they eased us into it though with Friday the 13th, because there was always the
story.
connection.
I mean, yeah, she told a story.
Well, I mean, Jason was a huge part of her motivation.
Yes. And he evolved too. He wasn't even always undead, right? Like there was an evolution there that we had to go with. Of course it was. Okay, now we
Chauncey,
bring it back.
you're gonna start turning me on. Don't do this.
I'm just saying, like, I've got an answer.
Yeah, no, I know.
Well, and being a relatively low budget,
better franchise. That's all I have to say.
1 through 4 is its own thing. Then 5 is its
own
a
thing.
weird departure. But then from 6 on, he's a zombie. It's
Just
that simple.
It made sense.
It's that simple. All right, so I don't know how the fuck we got here, but
How we get anywhere?
Test audiences. Y'all were very mad at 60-year-olds
yeah.
going to test.
Yeah. 60-year-old audiences.
No
I'm okay with 70-year-olds. I'm okay.
Separate theaters. Give them separate
70s,
theaters.
okay.
We old lady, and I didn't even see it coming.
So what have you guys? It's been a while since we've all been together, and some of you we haven't had on. Period. So what have you guys taken in that's been released in 2022 that you feel is noteworthy? I'll start with you, Patrick, because you've been the most quiet thus far.
Yes.
I'm a quiet person. Well, low budget horror film that I've seen is Shut In. Has anybody heard of Shut In? It came out in February.
Is that what the girl
about
who
a mom who gets trapped? Her mom who gets trapped in this pantry by her drug addicted boyfriend, and her kids are outside the pantry.
No.
And she's trying to escape the pantry. It's basically like a bunker film, but with a mom trying to get out to protect her kids. It's like an hour, 27 minutes. Yeah, I really liked that movie. It was a surprise for me.
That's on VOD, I'm assuming?
Yes, yeah.
Shut In.
I just recently watched The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent this weekend, and that holds up to the hype. Yeah. Like I said, I'm a big fan of Nick Cage anyways, but even if I wasn't, I would still love this movie because it was just hilarious. Him and Pedro Pascal have great comedic timing together.
Really?
Yeah, I've heard Pedro steals the show in that film, actually.
Yeah, he's
I
great.
don't know about that. I lean towards young Nick Cage stealing the show.
That was weird. But yeah.
I loved it.
It definitely speaks with you.
Wait, what am I thinking of? A girl who's in rehab and her mom's in the hospital.
No Exit.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Yeah, No Exit. Yeah. I've seen that one too. That one wasn't bad.
Yeah. Similar titles, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
I got a little excited for No Exit because I thought it was based on a play I really liked, and then I realized it wasn't, and I never gave it another look. But I actually heard it's pretty good. I should probably check it out.
It's okay. It's, I mean, it's an Amazon movie, right? Is it an Amazon? It's one of the VODs. Hulu. It's one of the.
Is that the one where they're trapped inside, and there's like maybe 5 people, and it's got kind of like a Hitchcock sort of vibe, and.
Yeah, I got really excited.
It's like
the trailer
Hateful
reminded me
Eight
of Identity.
Yes.
Yeah, Identity vibes. Yeah, you're right.
Very much.
So I went into it kind of expecting that tone, maybe not the overall story-wise, but the tone of it. But it didn't really get there for me. It was just tone-wise, it played more like a slasher, but like PG-13 slasher.
Yeah.
And it had the dude from Allstate in it, right? If I remember correctly.
Yeah. Pedro Serrano.
Yeah.
Or the president from 24, wherever you want to go with it.
Oh, that guy. Yeah. I know what you're talking about now.
Oh, he's got a voice, man. So distinctive. I love it.
Oh, shit, I'd fuck him.
Okay.
What?
Lay your cards right out.
Yeah, listen. Wouldn't you want to hear that whispering in your ear? A little slower. Okay, slower. Sure.
Dennis Haysbert. That's right. So that's his stage name, but like his real name is Pedro Serrano. Yeah.
No, Pedro Serrano is his major league name. His real name is Dennis Haysbert.
Oh, did I get it wrong?
His name in his name in the movie Major League is Pedro Serrano.
Oh, the thing I googled about him lied to me. Then okay, never mind. Or I misread it. Either way.
Google told you it was Pedro Serrano.
Yeah.
How dare you mislead me, Google? Damn you!
I don't know about this.
You got anything else, Patrick?
Aside from the two obvious ones, Batman and X.
Well, we'll talk about X later.
No, I've seen a lot of movies this year, but they're all pretty mediocre to me. Been there, done that. I watched Cursed, which I was really excited about, but I thought that was a different take on a werewolf movie, but
It was okay.
Tonally, I was like, okay, yeah, exactly. It wasn't anything spectacular that I was wanting it to be.
I thought it ended a lot weaker than it started. I think like the first half, there's like actually like a lot of really good stuff going on, and it kind of just peters out after a while. But overall, I agree. The last scene, I was like, okay, I get it, but I don't know, a little underwhelming.
Yeah, I saw that one last year at the virtual Sundance, so way before it got its official release. And they're like, yeah, we got some additional funding after the film was picked up for distribution, and we shot new scenes and new practical and whatever, but I didn't really see a lot that stuck out that really elevated the film much.
I love that. I love that when they go back and do something to it and it's worse.
I wonder if the ending was different because like it was all in really over the top slow-mo, but it felt really drawn out, but also kind of not a lot happened. It was weird. Like after it really grabbed me in the beginning, but then like kind of less and less was happening as the movie went on. It was kind of more started becoming implied stuff, which is fine, but I don't know. It just didn't stick the landing. I thought it was like kind of cool, like the way they talk about how curses, like like actual curses, are like bad decisions people made based on greed and avarice and like selfish bullshit hundreds of years ago, and like the effects are like they're felt throughout like the ages and shit like that. Like I thought that was kind of cool and interesting, but I don't know. It just didn't stick the landing.
I wanted to see more of the Scarecrow than the actual werewolf.
Yeah. The Scarecrow was dope. Yeah.
Anything else, Patrick?
No, went through the list. Literally, that's all that jumped out at me.
All right.
If anybody has anything else that they think's noteworthy, I can put in my 2 cents.
Let's go else to the other big shot there. Fuego. Why don't you tell us about the 476 movies you've seen in 2022, of which were noteworthy?
It's only 102 at this particular
only.
Only okay.
There's only 83 days in the year so far.
That's impressive, man.
Despite and I watched 41 alone when I was covering Phoenix Film Festival a few weeks ago. So that was just 41 films in 10 days. So it was an experience. Cecil having a kid now, he was not able to keep up with that pace. But
Fuego, I'd love to be out there with you, but at some point I'd be like, listen, if it sucks, I'm leaving in 5 minutes. I'm sorry. You better grab me. You better grab me quick, or I'm out.
I'm always one of those that sort of people, and their press comp tickets. I guess it would be easier for me to just
free. Well, you know what? My thing has always been free is easier to leave because you didn't pay for it.
I did walk out of one, and it was a French film that there was supposed to be subtitles for it, and there was not. And if it was more of I can't even recall the title. If it was more of like a surreal visual experience, but no, it was incredibly dialogue heavy, and so I had to go and watch something else. That's
Les Incompetents.
Exactly. I've seen a lot of big time theatrical stuff too. Some people slogged on it. I thought the 355, which is that spy film with Jessica Chastain, Lupita Nyong'o, and Penelope Cruz, it was more entertaining than I was expecting it to be. Better than the Oceans with all of the ladies, which I can't remember which installment that was.
Number score out of 5.
For that one, I think I gave it 3.5 on Letterboxd. Okay. Actually, it was. I mean, I've seen some people slogging on it for saying it's too formulaic, and perhaps it is. But the chemistry amongst all the women was really good. A film that I went and just saw on a whim, and I had no idea really what it was about. I'm trying to find it here on the Letterboxd. It's called The Outfit, and it's about.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to remember the name of the actor, but
it's the guy from
Mark Rylance.
Yes, Mark Rylance.
Yeah.
It felt.
I want to see that one.
It's really good, and it just builds the tension because he's this guy that's in league with mobsters, but it takes place in what I think like the 40s, 50s, like or maybe even further back. Maybe it's Prohibition era.
Fuego, shimmy a smidge to your left.
To my left. Okay.
Your left.
That's fixing you in the frame.
Right.
Yeah,
I can't see Baby Yoda now.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. The logo was like on your face.
That's cool. Yeah, and I didn't have the window up because I was looking at the letterbox. But yeah, the outfit, it very much it feels like a stage play because it's just one condensed location, and the way it builds tension. Leah Thompson's daughter is in it. Name of that actress.
Oh my god!
But she's been in a lot of stuff lately, and she's very good in it. But yeah, it's just a very slow burn, interesting thriller, and it was one of those. Hey, I've got my AMC, A-list, and I'm like, what the hell is even out right now? And so I went and saw that, and I believe it's still in theaters, and it is very much worth a watch.
And I think it comes to physical media tomorrow, like literally tomorrow. Wow. And if you have a nice uncle, he's probably got it too.
And Cyrano was a real surprise. I was intrigued, and Dinklage is great. It was a little bit more on the musical side than I typically tend to lean towards, but his performance was terrific. The songs were a lot catchier and more interesting than I was anticipating. A guy named Glenn Hansard, who was in the film Once, which is an Irish film from a number of years ago that won an Academy Award for Best Original Song. He's in a scene and does a song, and it was a lot more sad and somber. I've seen different versions of the story, including like the Roxanne with Steve Martin, which is a version of that tale. But it was another one that I was very moved by and impressed, and that's just a few, at least as far as the theatrical side. I just don't want to dominate the proceeding.
Just noteworthy. You don't have to. And then I saw this one directed by a 5-year-old, and it was really all over the place. So I
mean, as far as horror, I know we're going to talk about X, but Fresh was really impressive. It is a very, very darkly comedic horror film, which was very solid. But yeah, as I'm kind of right there with.
Well, let's hang on Fresh for a second. You thought the tone was all right? You didn't think it was too cheeky?
Yeah. It definitely owned its tone. That's for damn sure. As weird as it was at times with some of the music choices and some of the dance numbery stuff. I don't know. I was into it, man. I was very entertained. It was not what I anticipated, despite the fact that it was predictable in what ends up happening.
Oh, sure.
The tonal just kind of blending was not what I thought it was going to be.
Yeah, I'm one that if you set it up the right way, I'll if you set up a movie where it's me getting murdered, but it's a comedy, I'll laugh if you set it up right. I just felt like the tone was a little too on the goofy side, just a little bit, it just needed to level itself out just a little bit. I felt that's just I liked it. I enjoyed it. I think I gave it a 3.5, but I just wish that it was a bit more grounded, or either grounded or go in the other direction and just be a fucking, just go off the wall and be a John Waters film.
The last thing I have to mention too is The Lost City is not the trash that I expected it to be. I was entertained by that. I thought and it's all about the burden of expectation, right? When you go thinking something is going to be total garbage, and you're like, you have good chemistry. This movie, it's very much like a Romancing the Stone sort of situation. And I, even after coming home from the theater, was like, I'm going to watch Romancing the Stone now. Not Jewel in the Nile. The sequel's pretty terrible, but yeah, it's a lot better. If you find it on a streaming service once it gets there, it's fun. It's fun, and Dana Radcliffe is just like having a ball, dude.
Yeah, he seems like he's got his Harry Potter money. He's doing him.
He's doing a Swiss Army Man, and his guns. I haven't seen it, but the Guns Akimbo looks insane.
Guns Akimbo's the shit, dude. That movie's fun. Samara Weaving, who Be Still My Heart, as I always think. So.
I'd rather have what's that game movie? Oh,
Swiss Army Man.
No, they play a game. She's like a newlywed.
Ready or Not.
Ready or Not. That's it. Holy shit!
Oh God, I want to see that. I never got.
Yeah, it's fun.
Yeah, the guy who did the screen, did that one. That's what got them the gig. So.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
I thought that was the same guys, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay.
Huh. Okay. All right, Fuego, you're on your break. Lindsay,
Yes, sir.
what you got for us?
What have I been seeing lately? I was actually just looking that up. I'm so bad. I didn't get around to seeing either The Importance of Incredible Talent or whatever it's called, or Northman recently, so I feel bad.
Yeah.
But I have seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. So if you guys are down to talk about that for a minute, like I will talk about that movie.
I haven't gotten to it yet, but sure.
Go on. Nobody else has brought it up yet, I don't think.
Well, spoilers. Chewbacca's in it. So sorry, we're just gonna get past that there. Bob, my bad, dude.
Are you joking? Or...
No. There's some fuzzy, cute things in it, but there's no Chewbacca.
Okay.
Like,
I was like,
oh well,
what?
Now the movie's a 0. I'm
I was like, am I gonna have to watch this movie just for that?
And there's also pointed protruding things that are used in.
Wait, what was that? Say that again.
Pointed protruding things in certain scenes as well. Trophy with just like, what are they doing? That movie's nuts, man. I was so very blown away.
So we briefly mentioned Swiss Army Man a second ago, which is one of my all-time favorite movies. I went in thinking this will be a wild ride. Harry Potter's playing a farting corpse. Let's see what this movie is, and it ended up like really like getting to me and like affecting me emotionally and being kind of a crazy ride that has an ending that is. I still don't know how I feel about it, but it's a very unique and moving movie, and so I've been waiting for a few years now for Daniels, the directing duo, two dudes named Daniel, to do another movie, and we have it now with Everything Everywhere All at Once, a film about Michelle Yeoh going through like the worst day of this character's life, who owns a laundromat and is in kind of a shaky marriage. Her daughter's trying to come out of the closet, and the IRS are taxing her. And then suddenly someone comes out of the blue and just like, you are the only person that can save the entire multiverse, Michelle Yeoh. And she's like, what? And then it just kind of goes off from there. And it's just like with Swiss Army Man. It's wild. It's hilarious. It is not for kids, but it's adorable, and the acting performances are incredible, including everyone's probably heard it by now, but just in case if you haven't, the return to the big screen of Data from the Goonies, or you might know him as Short Round from Indiana Jones. So that just by itself was super cool. And he's still good. He's so good in the movie too, right, Fuego?
Oh, he's terrific. I didn't even recognize Ke-Huy Quan, man, and I was. After the fact, I saw like Cody's review, for instance, CP, and he's like Short Round, and it was just like, no shit, that's who that was, but he is excellent in it.
What's funny is the moment I learned it was him, I could totally see it. There's just something about the energy that he has, like, oh, it is the same guy. I can but anyway.
And also, James Hong is great in it too, in his limited role too, man. Because he's getting up
so many movies. I love it. He's one of the, and he's finally getting a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. So it's like, he's finally getting some acknowledgement of this man's incredibleness. But Everything Everywhere All at Once, just in of itself, it's like Marvel and all of these, and like, you know, DC wants to like jump in and start doing all this multiverse stuff. But I kind of feel like Everything Everywhere will be like the standard bearer kind of going forward,
really?
Like, in terms of like how to really play with ideas and stuff like that, and what you can do with when your story conceit is limitless timelines and universes that are all completely different from each other. And it's the same way that Chronicle kind of set the bar for 2012. That was like a Spider-Man, Avengers, and something else came out that year. Like, this is kind of that. Like, hopefully no one's going to go in, what's his name himself? Who wrote Chronicle? I'm blanking on it right now.
Was it Josh Trank?
No, he was the director.
No, it was Max Landis, right?
Max Landis, yeah. So hopefully the Daniels won't go and Max Landis themselves, but I guess it's got that same kind of vibe where it's going to set the tone for the year. At least I think it is.
He's been scrapped. He's
also, Michelle Yeoh's just incredible. Like,
Michelle Yeoh's great in everything.
Seriously, I went back and finally watched Super Cop after I watched Everything Everywhere. She falls off a truck onto a moving vehicle. She jumps a motorcycle onto a train that is moving.
Yeah, her stunts are even crazier in that, I think, than Jackie Chan's, if I remember, man. Just some of the stuff she pulls off, you're like, holy shnikes.
I've always been like a casual martial arts fan, but like I think I need to start actually deep diving some of this.
Are we still there?
What's going on?
Okay, I see
Hello?
Fuego and I see CP.
What happened?
Hi.
I don't know. What? All right.
I see
I
Chauncey.
thought I
don't hear other
disconnected. I was like, what just happened?
Yeah, everything
Yeah, I
went.
was so
Everything
Yeah,
went.
I got nervous.
I was
Everything
like,
all
I
at
missed a note
once.
somewhere.
yeah. See, you had to say everything all at once. That's the command for the damn stream to go.
I thought you were
bonkers.
disappointed in my review of its CPs. Be like, oh, Lindsay, get the hell out of here. Like,
We brought up Max Landis and they're shutting us down.
Go, man.
Dice says, "Welcome to Unfriended."
Or host.
Host, yeah, same shit.
Oh, the new film from that director, the guy who did Host, which looks, I believe it's called Dash Cam. Looks
Dash cam.
Oh,
Yeah.
Looks solid.
I did hear about that. Okay, I'll have to add that to my list.
All right, let me.
It's more of the found footage sort of thing as you would expect. Low budge, high profits. That's why Blumhouse was like,
between searching and
a Blumhouse movie.
Unfriended. I love found footage things that change up the formula. Like there's so much you could do with it, and everyone's always doing the same thing. Like maybe that's just me though.
Yeah, just cheap.
Yeah.
I'm gonna buy a fucking $300 GoPro and whatever.
Well, what was that space found footage movie? Like that wasn't great because it was like such a break from the norm.
Are you talking about the Jupiter movie? Jupiter's Moon?
Apollo 18?
Apollo 18, that's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was about like aliens on the moon or something like that.
Not like groundbreaking by any means, but because it just did something different. I don't know. I kind of liked it. Like
I like Moon, which isn't a found footage movie,
Moon's
but
good,
for
Sam
Moon
Rockwell.
is a good
Sam
one.
That's
Rockwell's
intense.
incredible.
David Bowie Jr. directed that.
Yes.
Is that a fact?
Hmm?
Yeah,
Huh.
yeah, that was Duncan. God, what's his name? Duncan
Duncan Jones.
Duncan
Jones.
Jones, yeah, Bowie's son. Yeah.
Oh, I was thinking of Europa Report. That's what I was thinking of. Thank you, Ben Grimm. Thank you. All right, so Bob.
Oh, my turn.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I haven't seen as much. I have a podcast right
Yeah,
now.
you're normal. You're normal. Don't
Well,
worry about it.
But as far as like the newer stuff, I do have to say I've rewatched Batman since it's been on HBO Max. God damn, I love that it has a pause button because it's a pretty goddamn good movie.
Yeah.
Which
but
one?
it is too long. The new Batman.
Oh yeah.
It is so much better for pause button. In the theater, it was just too much.
It was a slog. Yeah, it really was. The third act too. I was just like, okay, come on, guys.
But when you can pause it, not really the same issue.
Yeah, I have yet to watch it with the ability to slow the shit down.
It helps so much.
I bet.
It's such a slow, plodding movie.
But the Batman, I enjoyed every bit of it. I enjoyed so much that it was long. Once again.
Yeah, me too.
Girl coming out.
Just saying. I enjoyed every moment.
I want to see you go as Batman Jason for Halloween now.
Yes.
Nice.
Crossbreed the two.
The crossover we need.
Bruce Voorhees.
Bruce Voorhees, right?
Yeah, that's a cosplay that has to happen.
But the big movie I want to bring up that I really enjoyed, I just saw recently, which was Massive Talent. Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. God, I cannot get that title through my
Just a Nicolas Cage one?
easily. Yes. Yeah. Oh my God, that movie was so much fun. I think Cage and Pascal had a great chemistry together. The young Nicolas Cage, which I brought up earlier, and I don't feel like is much of a spoiler because he pops up super early. It's so great. You get like more of a normal Nicolas Cage interacting with like the hyper stylized Nicolas Cage from all the bad movies. Oh yeah, it is great. And it is
That's wild.
And you also get an LSD scene, which I don't want to go into, but it is comedy gold. It is. I don't remember the last time I laughed in a theater that much. Oh,
well, I just want to know this: how adorable is Pedro with Nicolas Cage? Like, are they?
They're pretty good together. They got good. So they got good friendship chemistry.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Nicolas Cage in that Charlie Kaufman movie. Like he showed some chops as far as adaptation. Yes, yes.
Well, Nicolas Cage is such a weird actor in that he is both the best and worst actor all rolled into one.
Yeah.
It all depends on who he's working with. But
Yeah.
he's all over the place.
And he
with his
also
ability.
happens to be a Coppola, so
He does.
Yeah,
That's
that-
right.
that does help the career a bit.
Bunch of hypocrites in Hollywood. It should say hypocrites instead of Hollywood. I'm sorry. I'm not bitter at all. I'm sorry. What?
I like that you brought up, is he a good or a bad actor, though? I mean, because he's a great actor. I don't care how many bad movies he does. He's so good. But like one of my favorite episodes of not Parks and Rec, Community, is when Abed needs to figure out, is Nicolas Cage a good actor or a bad actor, and it makes him go insane.
No, you could easily, like, for every great performance he gives, you could probably pick out 5 terrible performances. Easy.
That's fine.
It's all over the place, but you gotta be good to do a good performance, right?
You know, I think his defense would be that when he plays normal, it just doesn't. People don't remember it.
It doesn't feel right.
Yeah. Like when he did 8mm, people don't talk about that movie. It was a good movie.
Disturbing movie, yeah.
Nobody talks about it.
I just recently watched that for the first time a bit ago. That was an experience.
Yeah, it's a good flick. James Gandolfini as not Tony Soprano. All right.
Yeah.
What was the one he did with where it's like he's like a pizza guy and he falls in love with what's her name?
Moonstruck?
Moonstruck. No one talks about Moonstruck. Like, that's a great movie.
Yeah, except the Oscars. The Academy.
Unbearable weight.
The Oscars, no one's talking.
That was with Cher, right?
Cher won for that.
Yeah, she won an Oscar.
Yeah,
that's why I felt bad for saying.
Nobody talks about it though. Cher's got this big clank of weight on a shelf somewhere, but nobody talks about it. Well, anything else, Bob?
No, those would be
how
the 2 big
normal.
ones. I mean, Scream 5.
What a normal.
Scream 5 was brought up in chat. I enjoyed Scream 5. It was a fun one.
Oh yeah,
it's not my favorite in the franchise at all, but it was good.
I thought 4 was significantly superior, but I don't know. I've had fisticuffs with Cecil about that. So
I gave it a rotten.
You like
my
4.
second favorite.
I gave it a rotten.
It's my second favorite.
Did you really?
Yeah. I have the power.
You
do. Reasons?
Oh, for Scream getting a ride. Oh, well, well, first of all, I did love seeing James and Chelsea from Dead Meat James.
They're friends of yours. Yeah, sure.
Yeah, they're friends. Went to their wedding and everything. Loved them in it.
What? I love those guys.
Wow. Yeah, they're awesome.
Hey.
Minus that, it was just the whole thing of, I felt like the movie didn't pick up till it was legacy characters. I felt like the other characters were repeats, cheapened versions of the ones that we've already had. This whole thing of like passing the torch, I felt like Scream had a kind of enclosed story with Sydney, and I think it would have been okay to just have that with her. And I feel like they really tried to be like, we need to pass the baton, but the story, how it all began, is so direct to her, so it just feels weird to be like, let's center somebody else now because we did a soap opera twist, a plot, long lost kid, blah blah blah. And I just felt like it felt really melodramatic in some regards, and I felt like the killer reveal was just lackluster. I didn't care about that. I didn't care about who the killers were. I had no emotional punch.
I thought it was kind of predictable who the killers were.
The other one I thought was obvious.
Really? See, I get kicked around on this because spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen Scream, but Scream 5, excuse me. But I felt that when the boyfriend takes the 2 girls to get away from everything, he's kind of gambling that the girl doesn't have another inhaler, thank you, or that she can make it a couple of hours away. So like that to me, like you're you're hinging your plan on this girl needing her inhaler, and then you've got to like play like you don't want to go to the house because you'd rather be alive and you'd rather have your guts on the inside. Like it's hard for me to, like, when I sit on it and think about it, I'm like, no, that like he would give himself away. He would have to give himself away in a different fashion.
Yeah.
Well, it was also kind of like once they revealed themselves, they act like they were masterminds of something.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was like, oh, I'm really proud of like even what you just said. He was like, I'm really proud of myself about that one.
Yeah.
I'm like, about what? Taking a chance that she would need her inhaler, and then the whole thing where he says it didn't take long to get into your pants because you were her boyfriend.
Yeah.
Like, what is this like? Like, you really planned this out. This was so deep, and I'm like, it wasn't. It really wasn't that deep. And even when he dies and he's like, what about my story? I'm like, what about your story?
Yeah.
Why are you here? Why are all of you here?
Yeah. Dude,
why are we doing this?
I don't even remember his name. How about that?
Right? Like, why are we even doing this plot?
I'm just like,
it's how you really feel.
Braggart reveal, though.
One more time, Bob?
I was just saying, all the Scream killers have that braggart reveal where it's like, all this mastermind stuff.
But it's smarter in 2 and 3. In 2 and 3, it was smarter. It was a smarter.
I don't know if I'll give you 3. 3 was a bit.
Yeah.
I'll give you 2. I'll give you 2.
Two is actually my personal favorite, and I get a lot of shit for saying I think it's slightly better than the first one. Actually, it's got
good.
It's got James.
He was good. I want to call
Cameron
the first one. It's good.
Yeah, I just love what's his name, the guy who ends up being the killer. He's good in everything, and it's really young him.
Timothy Olyphant.
Timothy Olyphant. That's it.
And Laurie Metcalf.
Ola, fantastic, man.
Don't bring up the Oliphant in the room.
This is the way.
And also on Scream 5, the moment I saw Jack Quaid, I'm like, it's him, right?
Yeah. I thought
yeah.
It's gotta be
That's
him.
the obvious one for me. Oh, well, Huey's a killer, right?
Right. Yeah. It's like that's not like a knock against the movie, just because you can figure out the twist doesn't necessarily mean a movie's bad. But when I spent the whole movie being like, it's got to be him, right?
It's like, why else would he be here? Like, he's just gonna be the nice boy. Come on. And it's just, and they went so. I love meta, but they went so meta that it had a full circle of. You're doing too much, where they have her kind of explain, we have to do this and all this, and then when they had Dewey figure out in the beginning, he's the killer, isn't he?
Yeah.
I'm like, you guys are so smart.
Yeah.
It's like, stop. Just stop. We didn't need this movie. It's okay. And they're filming Scream 6, and
Are they filming? I didn't know it wasn't 100% official yet.
It's already dated for next March, so we're talking.
Well, they can put on the schedule and not have it.
You gotta kill Courtney Cox and what's her face.
And that's the problem. And I was so mad about who died in this one too. I was like, you should just leave my favorites alone. If you're gonna do something, just go somewhere else and make a whole new story. Just next generation. I don't know, Saved by the Bell or something.
I mean, they had
2040. They just have to be set in 2020.
They had that cop. They had that cop that they didn't introduce in the last one, and then they kill her in this one. You could have had her be a bit of a carryover, but no, you give her a movie and a half. But
apparently she was around for the events of the first one, but we never saw her.
I'm sorry. Write-ins don't count. If that were the case,
they're going to do a flashback to Scream 1, and we're going to see her like digitally inserted into that scene around the fountain. She's just going to be like, "Yeah, guys, this is crazy."
Obvious cutaways that were filmed like nowadays, where they de-age her.
She's like, she's in the background at the police station, like just doing she's helping out because that's what she wants to do with herself.
I'm just gonna walk through some furniture and stuff.
Yeah, no, but I mean, they put too much into the entire neighborhood knowing about Sidney Prescott. I live 10 minutes from the Amityville house. Do you know how many of us talk about what happened at the Amityville house?
Every day,
Do
right?
you know how many of us?
Everyone, all the time, nonstop.
Do you know how many of us know the names of the people that died at the Amityville house, or the people that ran away from the Amityville house? It's, people have lives. It's not like oh my God, the Lutzes. We have to go follow the Lutzes and see what they're doing. Stop.
That was something I kind of appreciated in Ghostbusters Afterlife, where it's like not everyone was like really like people had heard the name Ghost, but it wasn't like a household thing. It was like something that happened in New York twice, and some people hadn't even seen the footage. I don't know. I thought that was a nice touch.
Yeah, the Paul Rudd bit was that was a nice touch.
But I don't know how you do that with Scream, because it hasn't been 40 years.
I just want the Scream franchise to go New Nightmare. I want it to go like super meta. Where like they say they're not making any more Scream movies, and then like a super fan gets pissed off and goes after the actors that were in Scream, so you can bring everybody back. Like seeing Matthew Lillard and Jamie Kennedy playing like an extreme version of themselves.
And that's a hell of a reason to bring Matthew Lillard back too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you can bring back
have
all the
them
old
play
actors.
themselves and have
They
like a
should have
super
done
fan
that.
coming after them.
I take that.
I really
that
like the
been
whole
good.
New Nightmare thing.
Yeah.
I love that idea.
And especially since Jamie Kennedy and Matthew Lillard really want to return to the franchise.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
They could use the dough. Yeah.
That would have been a real ode to Wes Craven in a way. I mean,
Exactly.
I know they did a little bit of a thing to him in the movie, which I thought was honestly, I thought it was silly. That whole scene with the Wes character, but it was just like it was just done so many times to fake out. But it was like, if you really want to do it, do New Nightmare, because New Nightmare was the meta before Scream came. Like, people didn't appreciate New Nightmare, what he was doing with that. And then Scream came along and it got more appreciation, but he tried that in New Nightmare. So why not go that route before it could fully get its, something he had championed, and it didn't get as much attention as it should have.
Well, there's a reason
New
why
Nightmare
people
is
making a sequel.
underappreciated.
Friday the 13th Part 6 did it before New Nightmare. Just saying.
I just wonder.
Jason
definitely
lives.
went meta. They know.
Jason lives.
Yeah. The lightning strike.
Are you
dog.
talking about the cemetery scene just because
Yes.
he looks at the camera? No, that's
No.
not that's
No,
not on
no.
the same level.
So what were you going
No,
to
it's
be when
not.
you grow up? With the cemetery, and the guy says, some people got a strange
That's it.
idea.
Yeah, I
of entertainment.
remember.
There's a couple of those things.
But it's not the whole concept of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, all right. We'll touch base. We don't have time for this, but we'll touch base on this again in the future.
I just wonder what they're going to call the new Scream, because they obviously went with the whole Halloween thing of it, like Scream 2022, and so much so that even they had to have stickers on the DVDs in the store saying all new movie, because couldn't a casual person
H2O.
Yeah.
H2O.
Yeah.
Or it'd be S2O. I guess it'd be S2O. Wouldn't it?
You have to wait
Right
till 26 to do that, though.
Oh,
And they'll be like Scream again or some dumb shit like that.
Oh no! Wait,
Scream
no wait.
kills.
16 was 20. Oh my God! I'm so old. I want to die.
No.
So Jake says, why do y'all think this did so much better than 4 at the box office? 4 did so poorly that Bob Weinstein scrapped the series. Well, maybe he scrapped the series because nobody wanted to get on the casting couch, but that's just another story. 5 did so well, they announced 6 3 weeks later. Marketing?
And also absence maybe making the
Possibly.
heart grow fonder sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't understand why 4 underperformed so poorly, because 4, in my opinion, was really good.
4 is kind of like, 1, 2, 3, and then like 4 is like a redheaded stepchild, just kind of in the middle of nowhere there.
Well, there was a
I
long
love
break
Kirby
before
in
that.
4. What's with the actress?
Kirby
that
was
played her?
great.
Yeah, she was so
Hayden
good.
Panettiere.
Yeah, which is why they need to make sure they secure her for the 6th one, because of what they revealed in that little headline thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, if I don't see her, then she might as well still be dead. Come on, guys.
You're like a dog. Object pertinence.
Yeah.
Is she doing anything now, anyways?
I think she retired actually, so she might.
Or did she?
Yeah, I could be wrong about that.
Well,
Bar fights with her boyfriend.
I mean, she had Heroes, she
for
had
that.
Scream,
It
she had
was-
a hell of a career.
she's been-
Like,
yeah.
And we learned from Tobey Maguire that when you retire, you never come back.
Ha.
Who do we got? Who's left? Bob, you went.
Yeah.
Lindsay, did you go?
Chauncey.
I think I talked about the Everything Everywhere.
Okay, Chauncey.
Well, I saw what has become my new favorite zombie franchise.
Oh.
It is called Wormwood, and I absolutely loved it. It's I learned a new term too. It's exploitation. So it's like Australian exploitation film, like Mad Max. Like Quentin Tarantino came up with it, but like they changed the wording to exploitation. And Wormwood is an exploitation zombie flick, and oh my gosh, it is so awesome. Wormwood Apocalypse. It's a sequel to Wormwood Road of the Dead, which was a lower budget one from a brother and sister duo. But Wormwood Apocalypse has a bit of a bigger budget, and it is just so. I just love it. And I don't know if it's a mixture because I just got tired of everyone following. And I say this as someone who loved The Walking Dead from seasons 1 through 6. I just felt like everyone kept doing those zombie pictures where it was like more talking and character introspection. And maybe you see one zombie or something and the zombie was just symbolic of humanity or something, some deep stuff like that. And this one is just, oh my gosh, there's so much action. There's such an innovative way that they use the zombies. They have Aboriginal people, which are the indigenous people of Australia, as leads, which was so awesome. And I just loved everything about this movie. It was only an hour and a half. It does not overstay its welcome. And if you want kind of an answer to, or a little bit of a clash of the Walking Dead kind of thing, and you're ready for some rip-roaring kind of action, but with some cool one-liners, but also a actually interesting plot and a cool, simple building of a universe, then this movie is for you. Because Wormwood is actually a biblical term, so it actually has a reference to something, and it's very cool, and it actually fits to the plot. So I am just in love with this movie. It's on VOD.
I can genuinely feel the endorphins jumping off.
It was so nice to just watch a movie and be like, wow, I really just enjoyed this film.
I love that. That's awesome. That's awesome.
It was a lot of fun. Everything just worked. I was like, this just really works, So I highly recommend that. It's on VOD. I saw The Northman, as others have said. I think more people should see it. Not because I think it's the perfect movie, but I think it's such an original kind of way that they do it. It's kind of art house, and I think some people might have gone in there expecting an out and out Viking movie, and I think some people might have avoided it because they expected an out and out Viking movie because of what tends to happen to women in movies like that. But they don't, I would say, just as a woman, you don't have to worry about that so much in this film, because it's high up on the violence, but not so much on the gratuitous, like assault type stuff or whatever like that. Not in a way, it's actually some cool things that happen in regard to empowerment of that. So the women steal the show, Nicole Kidman, Anna Taylor-Joy, but it's a really quality film, and I just think that more people should check it out, because we need more movies that aren't Marvel. I'll take more DC, but we need more movies that aren't just like part of a franchise, but are like taking into a little bit more of original type stuff. So I really like The Northman, and others have talked about The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent, which I thought was really great as well. So those are kind of the three that I saw, and I guess we're going to talk about X. So
yeah.
Keep building up. We'll see at this point now.
I think I'm it, right? Am I the last one? Okay, so I had three I was going to bring up. I'll leave Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Maybe we'll do like a horror special somewhere down the road, because it's not worth it. It's not worth talking about.
Oh God, it's
a movie. That's for sure.
It does qualify as a
made.
film.
It was pictures to sound. It certainly was that. To 24 frames a second.
I didn't hate it.
Patrick,
Actually, I think it might have been 23 frames per
Get
second
out.
at one point. Just so that
I liked the first act and half of the second act, but from there on forward, it got bad.
I like the sheer
I got
lunacy of the
excited
bus.
with the build-up.
Yeah, the busing
Yeah.
was great, Fuego. That kind of sold the whole movie for me. But every other part of the movie, I was looking at my watch.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
I'll talk about two VOD movies or two movies that are, I think one's Netflix and one's Hulu. I saw Kimmy with
Yeah.
Zoe Kravitz.
I watched that too. It's good.
Yes, it's good, but as somebody who suffers from agoraphobia, bullshit. When she leaves the house, bullshit. When you suffer from agoraphobia, you just don't hide near walls and shimmy around. You know, I'm nitpicking. I get it. You have to tell a story. You got things to do.
That was a Soderbergh, I think. Steven
Yeah.
Soderbergh.
Yes. It was okay. Of later era Soderbergh, I prefer what was it with Channing Tatum and what's her face? Shit. Where she tried no
The Lost City of Whatchamagoodle?
no. She gets stuck in a mental facility.
Yeah, I know the movie you're talking about. Yeah.
Unseen?
Unseen.
No, not that one. That is very good, but not that one. It's with the girl from the beginning of A Social Network. She hates the fact that she's in the.
Yeah, I'm looking it up on DB right now.
Dragon Tattoo Lady.
Yeah, she's a Mara. She's one of the Maras.
Rooney Mara.
It's a 2-word title. Fuck, I hate myself. Side effects. Thank you, Jake. Side effects. Side effects.
Okay.
Side effects is probably my favorite modern day Soderbergh because they're all kind of similar. They're all like really kind of similar. But if you're home and you have access to it, I think it's a Netflix movie. Watch it.
HBO Max.
HBO Max, yeah. Just watch it. Watch it. Fuck it. And the other one I want to talk about is a Hulu movie, and that is Deep Water.
I watched it.
Which stars Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, and is directed by the person who brought us Fatal Attraction, Indecent Proposal, and this movie is nothing near either of those. It's not good. It's strange because they never really develop like the relationship between Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas is so like parallel. It's never like joint. It's parallel. They're a couple. They're married, and they're up to no good. And you're trying to figure out like what the deal is, and they're just shitty. And like, yeah, they're just shitty. Like that's it. And it was just like, man, that's it. Like,
so what? Like Tamer, War of the Roses.
Sort of like an inverse of War of the Roses, because like they put up with each other, and it's like really fucking strange.
Okay,
it's like an inverse of War of the Roses, and not really as anywhere near as entertaining. And I like me some Ana de Armas.
Oh, she's great.
She's amazing.
Yeah,
I think she's overhyped.
Well, you're not a straight man, so.
Well, I just think I like other, actresses. She just, I mean, so you're liking her based on this whole her being sexy?
I honestly
Well,
her
I think she's a
performance
good
in Blade
actress,
Runner
but the fact she's
2049
easy on the eyes probably doesn't hurt.
blew me
No.
away. Like
Knives
so
Out.
good.
I thought she was good in Knives Out.
You guys are
Yeah,
all
she-
like, oh yeah, no, it was this acting. It was this acting.
Oh no
Acting
no
like
no no
this,
no
da,
no!
da, da.
Listen. Deep Water. She. It was sex appeal. Sex appeal was the driving force. I mean, shit. That's her character in the movie. She's basically.
I hate that she's got to play Marilyn Monroe.
Yeah, I was just
she
reading
had
about
her
that.
bad.
Is she?
I
And I
don't
hear
know.
I'm
it
just
like-
like, you don't have the range.
And I think
for
it
this
got-
role.
And I think it got
After seeing X, Brittany
Great.
Snow could do that.
Oh my gosh, yes.
I can see that.
Brittany
I
Snow
can
was
see
a
that.
standout.
She had the
I
hair. She
love
has
her.
exact hairdo, right? Yeah.
But no, she actually. Oh man, she was so great in X. I take X.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm done.
Deepwater just hit too close to home for me, having been in a relationship where there was understood infidelity, and I was like, I didn't put up with it for very long, but I was in kind of a position. Thankfully, I didn't get to like the situation Ben Affleck gets.
I was
to.
going to say, did you
No.
murder? Did you
No.
murder a bunch of people?
No. Spoilers, Mac.
That sounds like it might hit close to home for me. So
Oh no.
Yeah, it was a
What's
tough
going
watch.
on here?
It was a tough watch. So yeah.
Oh wait, did you guys see the new James Bond movie actually? Because there was something about like there was like a nervousness to Ana de Armas in that because like it was her first mission or whatever. It was really charming, and then she actually turns out to be kind of a badass, and that was really cool. But I don't know. There's something about that one scene where she's like drinking to calm her nerves before her big mission. I don't know.
No.
Knives Out and Blade Runner 2049. Those are the
Blade Runner.
movies that I quite appreciate her in,
Knives Out-
regardless of how
Finished
she.
Knives Out.
Oh,
That's right, I
really?
remember that you're not a big Knives Out. I forgot about
Yeah, and
that.
it was
Yeah,
just
so,
her.
yeah.
I was just like, so I'm supposed to care about this girl? I don't.
Wow.
Well, they were
Fair,
building
fair,
up to-
It's just like, if that's the whole crux of this movie, I don't care if she gets the money.
Man.
No, I've been there before. Like if you don't like a main character, it can ruin a movie.
Yeah, you
Like,
just can't.
yeah.
You can't go on the journey. I'm like, I don't get it.
No,
like
fair.
in most every single Richard Gere movie.
Speaking of attractive people that you could probably no longer
Oh,
really-
you don't need to. You can say my name, CP. It's okay, bud.
Aw.
Speaking of attractive people that you probably aren't really behind anymore, Amber Heard and
okay.
Johnny Depp are dead in the middle of a trial that it just keeps getting more and more bizarre. I don't know how well any of you are following it, but I guess I'll ask the room what you know of the trial, what you've been following, and how you feel. Where are you leaning?
They both suck.
Yeah, they do. I mean, yeah.
You listen to them fight, you're like, you guys are fucking hardcore. Like,
Yeah. Well, I did a little short on this already, but like we're dealing with two people going through a divorce. I went through a rough divorce.
Yeah.
Part of the reason why I wasn't on this channel for a while is because I was going through a rough divorce. Took a while to recover. But it was like 3 different trials for me. And you say stuff that you later regret. And the important thing for them is just to get over this and move on. But I think it's terrible that it's being televised. That's the big thing that drives me nuts. I won't want that shit televised. And they're just airing their dirty laundry, and they're gonna be assholes to each other.
yeah, they're at the point now where they're getting pretty grimy, like talking about like interviews and her. Like today, the thing was she was with James Franco in an elevator, and she was snuggling with him, and it's like, what does this have to do with her defaming him?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, lots of people talk about the defaming thing, and the biggest thing I see is he lost the role in Fantastic Beast. And for me, I think he dodged a bullet getting out of that franchise. I think there's a lot of people in that franchise now.
That's another issue, but yeah.
I will say, as silly as I think this voyeuristic nature is, the fact that we found out that she shit on his side of the bed and blamed it on their little tiny dogs.
That's pretty cool. That's pretty evil.
I don't know how I feel about that.
The memes for that have been priceless.
Oh,
though.
they're
I gotta
everywhere.
say.
God.
Wait, memes? What do we?
I mean, I've seen the shit monster from Dogma. I've seen that.
I mean, Jeff Goldblum in Jurassic Park, I see all the time now.
Yeah.
There's one with Dexter.
Dexter.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Dexter's on the phone. He's like, Johnny, I told you she doesn't meet the code. And he's like, she shit on my bed, Dexter.
I think one of the silliest, though, was actually like a little miniature song where they took Nothing Else Matters, the instrumentation from the Metallica song, and they cut out him talking about fecal matter. And
I've seen that on YouTube.
It's unbelievably funny. It's so terrible. But...
I need to find that. Shit, I would have made that the intro. Fuck.
I mean, I think, it was, I mean, I don't particularly care for the ins and outs of celebrities, like relationship. I could care less. I think what is interesting about it, though, is the public opinion regarding it, right? The thing is, with her history before Johnny Depp, she was actually had a history of abuse, of being the abuser in the relationship, and then I feel like she kind of capitalized on the whole Me Too situation, and it it's weird because even now there's such a debate going on where some people are like, he's still an abuser. And have you ever heard of like a woman responding to abuse with abuse? And I actually can believe that, because sometimes if someone is abusive to somebody, their response is to because we saw that with the young woman who was Supergirl. And her situation where she, where there was rumors about, her being kind of a certain way. And she admitted that it was because of his strong abusive nature that kind of made her start to be a person she didn't want to be. But with Amber Heard, it was like, well, she had already done that in a previous, she can't use that excuse because the cops are already called on her with someone else, And so if there's such a way of, I don't know, it's weird because you don't want to say, we always want to believe the woman because percentages show that a lot of the time a woman is not necessarily lying, even though it's sometimes, but it's so, I get annoyed because I feel like she took advantage of that.
What I think is devastating is the recording of her saying, "Go ahead, you do what you want. They're never going to believe you." And
exactly.
It's like no matter what, no matter if you're right or not, you just totally fucked everything up by saying it like that. Like
she was manipulative in that regard, and it just really showed how vindictive that she is in that regard. I feel like, I mean, I think they both have a lot of issues, and I do think him doing this is now making people who are straight up messed up, like Marilyn Manson and others, come out like, oh, this is defamation, when it's like, no, you definitely did this stuff. But it's like, no, now your boy Johnny Depp did it.
What?
I'm with Patrick and CP.
Hold on, Chauncey. Restart.
We lost you for a second.
Go ahead. For some reason, everything went berserk. Yeah. Don't be talking about Marilyn Manson.
I know.
I was these people.
It's so weird. No, I was just saying, it's like there's so many layers to it, because it's like, because she was vindictive, now you might have because she was opportunistic of what she did, now you might have some men who definitely should be villains saying, oh, I'm going to also counter this, like Depp did, like Johnny Depp did, which is also a problem in and of itself. So it's two messed up people in a relationship, and one of them went above and beyond to paint the other as a villain so hard, when it should have just been like, this is between you two, do whatever. And I do think it shows the hypocrisy of Hollywood a bit, that he lost jobs, and there were strong petitions to get her off of Aquaman. And if they got him off of his jobs, she should have gotten removed too. There's no reason why, if you removed him, that she didn't get removed. If you were going to do one, you should have done both of them. That was my issue. Because when I heard they weren't removing, I'm like, that's just a double standard. They both were abusers.
Yeah. Well, when Jeremy Renner got divorced not that long ago, I remember I had the same approach where it's like, guys, it's a divorce. You gotta take all this stuff with a grain of salt. You can't judge somebody hardcore for what comes out during a divorce because people are going to say crazy shit. And that one kind of passed, and he seems fine now. But like all this stuff coming out, this is stuff that shouldn't be public. But it is now.
I think part of the problem is people think that just because they slam doors and scream that they're not abusive, but it is. It's emotional abuse. And Johnny Depp, like there's that footage of him storming around the kitchen slamming doors, and like when he pours himself a fucking keg's worth of wine, and it's just like, yeah, you're being abusive there. It's you may not be hitting anybody, but that's scary.
Exactly.
So like, you know, it's just who? Oh, Fuego. Where are you, Fuego?
Yeah, where is Fuego?
There you are.
Well,
the sixth way it should be.
It dumped me and said reached guest limit was what it said, and so as opposed to just kicking me back on, like I had to go and re-click on the link.
That was so weird.
Oh yeah. No
the
saying.
6. Did somebody else jump in here? I don't know.
No,
yeah, we're good. We're good.
Yeah.
Cool.
That was so weird. All right. Well,
back in action.
Yeah, it's just whatever. Like I don't know what what's the end goal for this case? Like who wins? Who seriously? Who wins?
I don't think anybody wins. Nobody wins until they put this behind them. No.
Like if Johnny wins, it's still not a win. There's still like, then it's gonna be like, oh, okay, so men can still like scream and be fucking just drunk assholes.
Yeah, so it's not going to be like a James Gunn situation where Disney's like, okay, we forgive you, you can come back and direct Guardians 3, you know, like that sort of thing.
Right, exactly.
I doubt he's coming back to the Pirates of the Caribbean franchise. So.
And
he said he didn't want to.
Yeah,
I'm happy if we don't get more pirates.
I know. Same.
And if she wins, then
no, she's lost in the public's eye.
Yeah.
She's lost in the public's eye. It's very clear.
That's true.
Whatever.
Everyone.
Yeah, I think everyone's kind of like, no, the jig is up for her. Like, you know.
No, when I made it public on my channel, I was like, you know, people need to move on from this. It's a shame it's public. I'm getting people telling me, no, Johnny has been vindicated. Johnny, everybody's like supporting Johnny. It's like,
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Really?
Yeah.
He's totally lost in the public opinion. But like CP said, like it's one of those things where he won. I think because they have said like he's kind of won the public opinion, but it is kind of a loss for society. That it kind of like he was still abusive, but now that's getting downplayed because she couldn't owe up to the fact that they were mutually abusive. So now it's like, no, nothing he did was really wrong. She is really the villain in this situation, unfortunately. So.
Yeah, it's hopefully maybe the judge will I don't know, deliver some sort of I don't know, judgment where it's like, yeah, all right, so Amber's got to pay, but Johnny's got to do community service for the abuse that he did. Like, if the judge can somehow, like, you know, everybody owes a piece of cake to everybody kind of deal here, maybe. I don't know. But Amber Heard, every
defamation case, unfortunately. So
So what the fuck are we talking about? Her in the elevator with James Franco for? Because Johnny wasn't there, the press wasn't there. So what the fuck are we talking about that shit for?
Well, I think Johnny's whole thing was to let the public see who he feels like she really is. I think that was his goal.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like you make the villain. I want people to really see you're the villain. So whatever comes out of it, I think you see him on the stand. He seems like he's having fun now because
he's laughing.
I think he realizes he won.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody in a court case seem so at ease as Johnny Depp. Like anytime I look, he's laughing, he's giggling, he's looking around, and Amber Heard is just like chiseled
because she knows she lost. She fired her PR team.
I saw that. Yeah.
Oh, did she?
Just today, I think.
She fired her PR team.
I did not know that.
That's how you know you're doing okay.
She's not doing all right, and she realizes it.
Curtains.
And she's still in. She's still in Aquaman 2, though, right?
Well, they filmed it.
Yeah, they cut down her role significantly, though. I think they said she's in less than 10 minutes now.
They should. She shouldn't have been put back on there. If they were honestly, I would have been fine had she stayed on it and he stayed to do what he did. If they were just gonna do that, but the fact that they did that and took her off, it was like, listen.
Well, you know what? Do the Kevin Spacey thing. Get somebody else. Get an actor that can use the work. Let them do her scenes.
It's a pretty expensive movie already, anyway. I'd imagine.
Well, CGI, green screen it. Fuck it.
Yeah. Although look what happened with Dalia, right? You know, in the Army of the Dead movie, they spent all that time Yeah.
So you can do it, and it's Warner. Warner loves wasting money, so fuck it.
I mean, Aquaman 2 is so loaded with CGI already. A little bit more.
Yeah. Come on. Give an actor that needs a chance, not some.
Oh, you know they'll just shovel money at Amelia Clark for it.
I wouldn't mind seeing her
do.
I'd be up for that
because of all of Game of Thrones.
That's what all the internet wants. So.
Man, God forbid! It's just same argument. Can we get somebody like that I've never heard of? That just holy shit! Who is this? Wow, that's
you
crazy.
Mean you don't want Bad Bunny to head a new Sony? Super person movie?
No,
Bad Bunny. Oh my gosh.
I'm sure Lindsay will back me up on this. I can speak on behalf of people who have gone through, readings for scripts and auditions. That there's hundreds of people that just are there for the picking. Yet somehow they always pick somebody who's been in something else. And
I know that's something Chauncey's mentioned a lot in past episodes of Show Business. It's like that's why we keep seeing so many of these same faces like over and over and over because of the recognizability. And so that's why it's tough to break through, right?
It's that, and then like I remember a few years ago when they were getting ready to start shooting Ready Player One, they actually did an open call for the lead on that. But then they ended up going with the guy from X-Men.
Yeah.
It was like, what's the point of the open call if you're gonna just like? I mean, I get it. Like, you want the face, but why you just try to get free publicity? What was the point of that? Like,
we like to pretend to give people hope.
I guess,
it was me and Elijah Wood, and Elijah Wood had a role in Back to the Future 2. And I'm convinced that's why I lost the role in Forever Young, because he already had a credit.
That makes sense.
I could be Frodo, but fuck no.
I can see that. I can see you as Frodo.
Well, his role in Back to the Future 2 really made the movie.
All right, fair enough.
Like, oh, that's
fair enough. I mean, how the Academy missed that is
I know.
Hell's an oversight
anyway.
Okay, so we're all kind of on the same page. This is just rotten. It's just rotten. No matter what happens, it sucks.
Yeah, it's one big pile of shit. To quote Goldblum, right? You know, like we said earlier.
and
it's bread and circus, right? It's like it's also just a distraction. It just really shows. Like, I mean, look at what's happening right now. The Met Gala is going on. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court is overturning Roe v. Wade. And I'm on here, and all I'm seeing is, what did so-and-so wear? It's the Gilded Age of the 19... Oh, you mean... that gels with the theme going on
we're
right
in the
now.
Hunger Games, man. We're the Hunger Games.
It's just such a distraction from everything that actually means anything.
Yeah, I saw the Roe v. Wade thing right as we started. I was like, I should say something. No, we don't need to get into that right now.
But it's still the same. But I'm just saying, like, the whole thing of the Met Gala.
Right.
Which is going on right now, right?
Wait, did they flip it? They flipped it?
They're about to.
Federally?
Oh, God, don't say that.
The Supreme Court.
Federally? I know Texas said fuck it.
They're saying
the Supreme Court flipping it would flip it.
Yeah.
It'd be done.
Oh my God.
Yeah, the whole thing.
So it's some wag the dog shit.
So
going
yeah, I
on for
just brought
sure,
down the
you know?
mood, but I'm just saying dystopian times, and let's talk more about how like her. And then meanwhile, Ukraine on, and then you hear her shit her bed. I'm like,
everybody's talking about her shitting her bed for a week.
I'm like, there is so much more going on.
Yeah, here all of a sudden it calms down, and it's like, wait. The Purge is going on right now. I didn't hear. I could be legally downloading illegal movies.
Right?
Yeah, I still want to see that Purge movie. Let's see a Purge movie where just like the guy that just like downloads every video game that exists. Like a lot of little vignettes. Like a lot of people in the Purge. Like
the Purge is on Pirate Bay. Here we go.
Let's stay on the negative.
Good.
Bruce Willis formally announced his retirement. He's got similar issues as I do. He's got some neurological disorders. How do we feel about this? What are some of our favorites? Some of our least favorites from Mr. Willis? And this is the right time, right? I mean. It's about 5 years too late, but I think I think we're all in support of it.
But
I mean he's been doing so many of these like smaller roles where he's getting top billing and these direct to VOD sort of things, and I've watched most of them, as I think I was saying in the pre-show, and I mean more often than not he was delivering like one line of dialogue at a time. And then they cut over to another person who's talking and having extensive discussion. And he was just these stoic, like one-liney, one-sentence sort of things. And I could tell, like, he seemed a little fuzzy, and it made me wonder, is he just going through the motions and trying to stack as much money as he can because the writing's on the wall? He knows he's going to have to step away. I mean, there were some that weren't terrible, but none of them were particularly good, and it's the red box shit that you see, and you're like,
I'm glad, knowing what we know now, looking back at Glass, I'm actually pleased that I don't know who did what, but he wasn't atrocious in Glass.
No, he was all right in that. Yeah.
Yeah. So
up until he dies in a puddle, but that wasn't his fault.
Yeah. Well, that's not. Listen, that's
pretty.
Night.
He was
good. But yeah, favorites that aren't called Die Hard.
The Fifth Element.
Oh my God!
Oh,
yes.
God, I wanted to say The Fifth Element. Oh, you took it from me.
I got it.
I had the soundtrack to that in fifth grade. I could not stop listening to it. I love that movie so much.
I love The Fifth Element.
Definitely Unbreakable for sure, which I prefer to The Sixth Sense.
Me too.
I agree.
I really like Hostage.
Yeah.
One more time.
I really like Hostage.
Really?
Like people hate on Hostage.
Good pull. I like Striking Distance. I like some of those lesser known. Like, I mean, we're talking erotic thrillers earlier. I mean, I even like Color of Night, So, hey now.
Yeah. Looper.
Looper's great.
About Looper. Yeah.
Last Boy Scout.
Last Boy Scout. Good call.
Yeah, good
Last
call.
Boy Scout's great.
Oh, in the chat, Jake Corinthos, Sin City. Like, Sin City is dope.
You guys can start laughing at me, but I swelled up when I watched Armageddon, and he switched places with Ben Affleck. I was like, oh,
that was sad.
Yeah. Oh, he actually is doing the fatherly thing for the guy that's banging his daughter. That's nice.
He put work into that movie. Like the whole cast, they could have phoned that in. Everyone, they did their homework on that.
I hate that the only thing people remember about that movie is the fucking song.
The Aerosmith song, which Aerosmith didn't even write themselves. It was like a professional songwriter wrote it for them.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And most people remember Deep Impact too. And that's the other thing that bothers me. One of those.
I enjoy all 4 Die Hard movies. I'm glad they never made a 5th one.
Yeah.
There is no fifth Die Hard.
Yeah. Thank God they stopped at 4. I mean,
and we're trying to make
don't milk it too much, guys.
And they were trying to make another one that was going to be like flashbacks to him as like a Rook, like year 1 sort of situation. And
they've been talking about that. I think even before.
Guys.
I always love that idea because it was just so horrible. Because like the reason Die Hard works is because he's middle aged. It's because he's balding. It's because like he's not a 21-year-old. Like if you go on like 21-year-old John McClane, and like I don't know, it's gonna ruin it.
Yeah,
exactly.
In theory, if they were to make a 5th one, they were trying. They would have been trying too hard to make him have a thing with the "I'm on vacation." Like he would be saying I'm on vacation too much, kind of like the come out to the coast, we'll get together, have a few laughs. And it's like, yeah, I know what you're doing, but stop.
Dude, how could I forget one of my favorite movies of all time, 12 Monkeys?
Oh my God.
Yeah, I love 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, so good.
I can't believe I didn't think of that one first. That's a really good movie.
Well, Terry Gilliam, it's tough to get him to actually finish a movie, but oh my God,
how long did he work? Yeah, how long did he work on the Don Quixote movies? Like,
oh my God,
I never even watched it.
I remember seeing a documentary about that. It was fascinating. I saw it like when I was in film school, like 15 years ago. No, 18 years ago. Fuck, I'm dating myself.
Yeah. It was a passion project of his, like forever, right? And didn't it?
Oh yeah.
He finally finished.
Originally starring Johnny Depp.
Felix Likes Moonlighting, which was a television show that he was on with Sybil Shepherd.
He started out
early
in comedy,
80s, right?
Yeah.
They didn't want to take a chance on him originally with Die Hard because they didn't think he could carry it.
Yeah, and he made a movie called Blind Date in between the two.
Yeah.
That was kind of, comedic. I use that word very loosely.
And he's really funny. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
And he's great in the is it a Zemeckis movie? I want to say the one with the effects and everything. Death Becomes Her. He's in that.
Oh,
right?
I was just that's what I was about to bring up. That's one of my favorite.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Oh, in the chat again, some neat. I'm gonna pronounce this wrong. Neuron Carrey, Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
How did you miss that?
I love.
Oh yeah, that movie.
And while we're talking about his work with Tarantino, the short film he did, 4 Rooms, he's in the last one.
What a career, man. I mean, talk about longevity and also just range, too, to be able to do comedy and to do, like, really serious dramatic work, too. I mean,
you know what? He may not be a Oscar-worthy actor, but he's certainly an everyman. Like, I wouldn't mind seeing him, like, maybe not modern day Bruce Willis, but 10, 15 years ago, you put Bruce Willis in something, I'm okay with that.
Dude, I was watching like everything he did for a number of years in the 90s when I could actually get into those movies. The Jackal, Mercury Rising, stuff like that.
Mercury Rising with what's his face? The
kid, right?
Yeah.
I remember his name.
You should know his name. You've met him a couple of times.
Oh, it was with Miko
Hughes? Yes,
it was with Miko. Yeah, and that Baldwin was the villain, I think, right? Anyway,
with the kid. The kid.
I just remember he was protecting a kid.
I want to say from the late 90s to the early 2000s, it felt like every year he had at least 1 or 2 movies, and they were usually decent to pretty damn good.
Him, and then it was like him and or Schwarzenegger or Stallone. They seemed to have a huge movie, and then it was Van Damme for a little bit.
For like a heartbeat, yes.
and then towards the mid 90s, Independence Day came, and then Will Smith came, and then it was Bad Boys, and
you're forgetting Eddie Murphy had some great action movies
in the 80s.
I don't know. Metro's pretty good, man.
Metro is underrated.
Listen. Don't disrespect Eddie Murphy.
Don't, please.
He was a blockbuster.
Absolutely. If you're talking about the 80s, I'm with you 1,000,000%.
And they're doing that Fourth Beverly Hills Cop, right?
And you know what? The comedies he made in the 90s were big. It's just Last Vampire in Brooklyn. I just
Wes Craven. Yeah.
No, that's not the word I was thinking of.
I finished your sentence for you.
What was the Bruce Willis where he was it had the dude from Friends in it, and he was like a contract
whole 9 yards.
Really
that
funny.
Was awesome. Yeah.
The sequel was horrible, but the first one was Amanda Peet.
I don't remember the sequel.
Yeah.
Speaking of Friends,
I know
Friends.
Oh, was he on?
Right.
Was he on Friends?
He was dating Rachel for a while.
That's right.
Oh wow. Good for her.
He had a little bit of a crazy.
Good
crazy
for him.
Good for both of them.
Good for
honestly.
everybody. Good for
Yeah.
everybody.
Good for the show. Probably shot up the ratings.
Well, they had all those big name guest stars, right?
But then Brad Pitt came on too once they were really together.
Wow. Yeah, the show was on fire then. Jesus.
Magnum PI was on there for a bit, right?
That's right.
Bellick.
Paul Rudd on the last season. God, that show was crazy.
All right, so we're gonna five of us are gonna think this is still sticking with miserable, but let's talk about Morbius and Jared Leto.
Before we get to that, but before we get to that, I forgot to say that I really enjoyed the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, and I thought it was better than Halloween Kills. Thank you.
Wow.
Okay.
Shots fired.
You're not wrong. It was better than Halloween Kills. I won't argue with that.
We need a horror special. We're going to have to get a horror special because there's so much to chew on. Oh, man.
That's a book to open right there.
Yeah, the problem is my memory is different than everybody else's, and it's just like you guys haven't seen what I have. But Morbius, Jared Leto. You think maybe he's in need of a break, or
does he really own a cult, or are people just being silly?
I don't know.
Well, he's just hot shit.
Does he?
No. Yeah, but he's got like a band, and they've got like an island, and like they joke that it's a cult. But I'm like, wait, does joking it's a cult make it not a cult or more of a cult?
Ask Nexium.
I forgot about 30 Seconds to Mars, man. Yeah, that's his band.
Yeah.
They got some good music. They've
got some bangers. They got some good ones.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
What's that song, War or whatever? Like, I'm not embarrassed to admit, like, yeah, that thing's been stuck in my head for like weeks at a time.
I liked a lot of their stuff up until maybe like 2 or 3 years ago.
I still remember when I saw them live like a decade ago.
I like that Kings and Queens song.
Well, he like wasn't even singing and playing guitar at the same time. He would like play some guitar and then he would put the mic out and be like, have the audience sing. And I'm like, are you just a studio guy where you can't sing and play at the same time? Is that what's going on? I don't know. Maybe it's just
he is a good actor for the record. Like, I won't take. He's got kind of a weird public persona, but he's very talented.
He's got that 8:30 res at Dorsia. So
I don't agree with his method acting type thing. I just think people who do method acting are taking it to another level. I'm not.
Yeah, I think it's obnoxious. I mean,
they're taking the piss.
And I will say that as someone with a theater degree, I think method acting is ridiculous. And I think it just makes you have this whole thing with Jim Carrey coming out about him and Andy Kaufman, and I'm like, so we're gonna have a whole documentary.
That documentary was fucking insane.
Like you were an asshole on set, and you thought you were having some big artistic moment, and you weren't. And I don't agree with that with Jared Leto, but I do think sometimes it's become sort of a thing to not like him, a little bit. And I do think sometimes people want him to fail. Like, I didn't hate his Joker. I thought his Joker was fine. And you just had a lot of people who were just like, no, like the worst
sending
Joker ever.
people dead
and
mice.
I was just Okay, yeah. Once again, the method acting was stupid. But in terms of like what we saw on screen, I just, and I also liked him in that Denzel Washington movie that they did. I didn't like that movie, but I thought he was fine in that.
No, he was fine in that movie. That movie was kind of nowhere. But the little things I want to say. Yeah. One of the random movies I saw on COVID lockdown.
One of the weird things about Jared Leto to me is like I saw an interview where he tried to deny all of the like Suicide Squad things. He's like, no, I don't know. These rumors start about mice and other things like that, and who knows who starts them? It was him. You can watch other earlier interviews. He was the one saying he was doing it.
Is that true?
Yeah.
What an
I
asshole.
can't take credit for finding that. Caravan of Garbage, Mr. Sunday Movies found it, and I saw that video and I thought it was hilarious. But it's again, very talented dude. What was the Dallas Buyers Club? He's really good in that movie. And
he's the older a good actor.
And also where he gained all the weight to be the killer of John Lennon. I forget the title of the film, but he was terrific in that too. You know? Yeah. So he commits, I'll give him that.
American Psycho.
Yeah,
he gives a good performance.
He raised the doors to you.
Like that.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was just gonna say he's also a vampire because look, he's like almost 50, and he looks
true, actually.
like that.
Yeah, he sold his soul.
Why he has a cult.
He sold his soul or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and freaking Paul Rudd we were talking about earlier. I guess I mentioned earlier. Like, what are their secrets, man? Is it moisturizer? Is it dead babies? Like, how do they do that?
It's unicorn blood. It all
Keanu Reeves.
Keanu Reeves,
yeah, doing some Bathory shit, right? Just like bathing in the blood of virgins or something.
I heard from Morbius he had people pushing him around in a wheelchair and stuff.
He was in the wheelchair the whole time, from what I understand, or at least in, like using the crutches and stuff. So he even after cameras stopped rolling, he was still doing it. So commitment, right? So,
yeah,
I guess
that's just being lazy.
It's not a good movie though, but I will say that his performance wasn't really very bad. I feel like it was the editing, it was the CGI, it was the script, obviously, and also Matt Smith. I mean, they have good chemistry on screen in it. Matt Smith goes a little bonkers, in the tail end of the film, doing some dancing that's reminiscent of Tobey Maguire in that third Spider-Man movie.
That my issue more with mainly the characters is that, like, I feel like the actors don't really infuse really anything to the characters. There's like nothing to that movie except maybe a little bit of Matt Smith. Matt Smith seems like he's having some fun.
Yeah.
But like, what can I tell you about Morbius? Apparently he's smart and he has disease. That's it.
I'm in. I want to watch it.
Yeah.
I'll give the movie this. I think the biggest issue that it had was, like, we were talking about how it kind of got butchered in the editing process and stuff like that. Because like the first few minutes of that are all over the place. Like, first he's in Brazil or whatever, getting the bats, and then he's a kid, and then within one scene, without even really a cut, he's been a kid in this place with this guy for years, and we don't really see the developing relationship, and then he's an adult, and like there's no establishing shots, there's no breathing room, there's no explanation for why. Like, there's people with guns on a boat for reasons, and they never give a reason, and it's imperative to the plot that these boat guys. It's like, why? Why are things happening? And the movie it never bothered to explain. I'm sorry,
I
Chelsea,
love how we have this whole past,
I wasn't.
history with them as kids, which is absolutely nowhere and goes nowhere. We don't need it. We don't.
But like you guys said, though, Matt Smith, incredible. I love that guy. He's
Has anyone read the comics?
No, sadly not. I know the old Spider-Man cartoon, but that's it.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's been a long ass time, and I'm like Lindsay. I just remember the cartoon. He
was a cool character on that cartoon.
I've seen him in comics, but only when he's guest starring on the comics. So I was interested in that, but I'm just worried that it's going to be one of those things where I kept hearing that Venom was really bad, and then I watched it and I was like, why did everyone hate this film?
Because Woody Harrelson was a little fucking goofy. Is that why?
But it was weird because everyone's like, this is such a horrible film. But I also thought it was kind of this weird thing where you had some Marvel Disney heads who are just mad at Sony for daring to not give Disney all of their characters that they own some licensing to. So they're just ready to crap on anything that's not under Feige. So
Yeah.
I was just like, so I'm willing to give it a little bit more space.
Yeah,
So,
their army of Rotten Tomatoes. Please invite me to your premiere. People are. This is garbage. Did I do good, Disney? Can I come to the?
Yeah.
To the
Where's my check?
beauty-
Where's my check?
Oh, and also I'll give Morbius this. It's got Michael Keaton in it. It's not a lot of Michael Keaton, but he's there.
Oh, and it's so forced.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
It's still Michael Keaton. Like that's worth like something.
to pivot back to Jared Leto, the actor. Do you think maybe he needs to Ben Affleck circa late 2000s and just do something down to earth? I'm not saying direct something
maybe.
like Ben Affleck when he did The Town. It was like, oh my god, Ben Affleck.
Yeah,
It's
true.
Ben Affleck. Holy shit! Where were you?
The joke at that time was that Ben Affleck, not a great actor, blah. And then he
Right,
did The Town.
right.
It's like, oh my god, he's a
And
really
he
good
directed
fucking
it
director.
too. You're like, what
Yeah,
the fuck? Where did this come from?
Yeah.
No, wait, no. He directed Gone Baby Gone first.
Oh, that's true.
And then
Little Bro, yeah, and then Argo too was around that same time.
Argo,
right?
fuck yourself.
Argo.
Yeah.
where he was reinventing himself. But then you watch something like Deep Water, and you're like, oh yeah, he's still really not.
He's still Ben Affleck.
The Batman
He,
movie.
and he was still good as Batfleck. You can never take that from him. Like,
Yeah,
was
he
great.
tried.
Yeah.
Those movies weren't his fault. Those
No,
movies were
no.
not his fault, man.
He's
He
my
honestly
second
put his
Batman.
all into it.
He's your second favorite Batman? Hell yeah.
He is. Him. Michael Keaton's my first. So, okay, well now actually it's tied between Ben Affleck and Rob Pattinson. Actually, so.
Wow, where's Bale?
Where is Belle? I don't know. Do
Oh,
you have
I think Bale was in good movies.
Yeah.
I don't think Christian Bale's that great of a Batman either.
Yeah.
I think he was in a
Wow.
better
Where
movie.
is he?
Batman.
He's with you. I know it.
I kind of go back and forth on that. Like it depends on my mood in the day and whether which I really.
I can't stand I can't stand Rises. I just
Rises is terrible.
I can't stand that movie. It's
Oh
trash.
no!
And I
no.
said I actually like Christian Bale. I don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah.
I will watch everything else he's in. I just
He's not my brother. You go ahead and say what you want.
all I'm saying is that his Batman movie, it was really he was a victim of the movies because I always felt his Batman movies weren't about Batman. They were always about everyone else around him. And I just felt like
That's fair.
I just that's why I love the Batman, the recent one, because I just like, wow, this is such a centered movie on this character.
That's
and the
why I
layers
like.
of it.
That's why I like Batman Begins because it showed you
My favorite of the
him.
trilogy.
Yeah, him becoming like he was stealing and shit, and he learning how to do his fucking I always this guy. How does this guy know how to kick everybody's ass? And Batman Begins, they kind of show you, and it's like, oh, all right.
Well, yeah, they gave you a backstory, but
Yeah,
okay.
Is there another movie that they do stuff like that in though?
But you don't always have to tell us the back. Sometimes you can see it just in the way they act. Like with Michael Keaton, with his
you're right.
You kind of get the sense of everything, that darkness with him and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman. It's just like there's things going on that didn't have to be showed to me in a scene to let me know this is who he was.
Chauncey,
I got it.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. It's just the pizza had pepperoni this time, and it was like, oh, all right, well, I didn't realize you could have pepperoni on pizza. This is pretty good. All right. I'll take
Now I will
it.
say he's not my least fave. He's definitely not my least fave, but he's not my tops.
Yeah, it's all right.
Well, everybody knows the best is George Clooney, so.
which I revisited a few months ago when the new one was coming out, and it is a colossally amusing train wreck, man.
Oh man, he didn't even try.
I think
man.
I might hate Val Kilmer more than George Clooney, to be honest.
Oh, Val Kilmer tried. I watched it not that long ago. Val Kilmer put in a solid attempt. I like Val Kilmer.
George Clooney's the worst. Val Kilmer did so much better than him.
I always say Clooney was a better Bruce. He just wasn't a good Batman.
George Clooney was George Clooney. Like that. I think that's what my problem is.
Which is kind of a Bruce.
All right. I'll give it that.
playboy, like womanizer that he was back in those ER days, where he's like dating everybody.
Yeah.
ER
Well, wasn't the Batgirl in that movie just his girlfriend at the time? I think.
Alicia Silverstone.
No. The Bat girlfriend, not the Batgirl. Elle McPherson.
The model. Yeah.
I
don't know.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
I didn't think about Batgirl being in that movie. I forgot. I saw it not that long ago. Batgirl is in that movie. I forgot.
So let's move from miserable to tragic, dramatic, ridiculous. We have not been together since the Oscars, and it was a spectacle. And I can't tell you a single movie that won a single thing, but I can tell you that Will Smith slapped Chris Rock for a joke.
Let me introduce a question to you guys. Who hosted the Oscars that night?
Oh my God.
Regina
Amy Schumer.
Regina Hall.
Three ladies. Yeah.
You got a couple of them.
Regina Hall.
There you go.
It was 3, right? Wasn't it 3?
Yeah,
4?
Yeah, I believe there's quite a few.
It was
Yeah.
great. Wanda Sykes and
Wanda
then that one
and the
that's
girl from Trainwreck. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
Sure.
I bet you if you ask most people, they're going to tell you Chris Rock, all because of that moment.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying. Yeah.
It dominated the conversation forever.
Dude, it's our TikTok mentality, man. It's just fucking what happened in 10 seconds. Okay, that's it.
Exactly.
I think it's unfortunate that it overshadowed so many really historic moments that happened, like with Coda.
Love Coda.
And other situations, I definitely think it was unfortunate in that regard.
It's been beaten to death, but what some people forget is the fact that he won an Oscar after slapping Chris Rock.
Yeah, that's the part that really gets to me. It's just like,
the votes were already in.
100%.
What are we supposed to do?
Well,
revote. They just like, okay, everyone who wants Will to get it, raise your hand. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
And so, from what I understand, though, they asked him to leave and he refused to.
I kind of call bullshit on that.
They changed their story.
Yeah, that was the Academy's official, in their investigation.
That was them saving face.
For sure.
They didn't ask him.
Well, because what they really should have done is they should have kicked him out immediately, but they just were so caught off guard that they didn't know what to do, and they're like, "Oh, fuck," and then just froze.
Yeah. I mean, how many people thought it was like a I mean,
I did. I thought it was some WWF shit, man.
Dude,
I thought it was,
Until Will Smith was yelling at him, I thought it was staged.
Yeah, those of us who remember the MTV Video Music Awards with Will Smith and Jim Carrey when they would go back and forth, it resembled that. In the late 90s, Jim Carrey and Will Smith had like this affair going on where like
scandalous.
Where like Will Smith won for Independence Day and he beat out Jim Carrey for, I don't know, Cable Guy or some shit, and like they had like this little thing that they were doing, and they were before oh, what's his name? Why am I? Oh my God, I'm forgetting all of their names.
Philip DeFranco.
No,
Shia LaBeouf.
No. Before Kanye interrupted. Taylor Swift. Yeah. Before Kanye interrupted Taylor Swift, they did it to each other, and it was like, it was fun. It was part of the thing. And so
I thought Kanye was all drunk when he went up on stage and did that, but
I just think he was trying to get on Beyonce's good graces. I think
a little bit of A, a little bit of B.
Yeah. Just in case.
That's
Beyonce.
That's a guy who's also going off the deep end, unfortunately, a wee bit.
Yeah,
yeah. Makes me feel bad because he's hella talented.
Incredible musician.
Fucking A, he is.
Never take that away from him.
It's you know what?
It's the Kardashian curse, man.
Why do really talented people what happens to them? What there's something that happens to really talented people who are just like.
I think most of them turn out okay, but you do have this percentage that, yeah,
at least 10%. It's just like, dude, what's wrong with you?
Well, also think about the media. I mean, what gets crammed down our throats tends to be the negative stories. You know? It's like, you know, it's kind of like if someone walks down a alleyway and nothing happens 50 times and it's like, oh, that's a safe alleyway, but let one person walk down the alleyway and someone gets shot, it's like, oh my gosh, that alleyway must be dangerous now. So it's the same thing I feel like with certain things. And I think it's a little bit of a nuanced thing with the Kanye, Kim, Pete situation. As I like to call Pete, community dick. That's he just sleeps with everybody.
Since when is he the fucking
right? And I'm just like, I can't even remember more than 5 of his jokes, and all of a sudden he's everywhere. I'm like, all right, guys.
He's always playing everyone gets a bounce.
The Chad joke was kind of funny, but what?
Why is he everywhere?
How is he still on SNL? A B? What?
He's a really good listener, guys. Come on, really here.
The guy gets he's barely in shit. Like he's never in skits. He's always like he's another guy where he's Pete Davidson in the things that he does. He's Pete Davidson. And okay, cool. I guess he's hung like a fucking snake. I guess that's
Ariana made
good
that clear.
sales department.
Oh, it hasn't been outed. That's an official. Okay.
Oh yeah, she made that clear.
And he recently dated Kelly Kouakou, I think, and my mom lost it because she's a huge Kelly Kouakou fan, and she's just like, "No, you just got out of a marriage. Don't do this." She's just having fun, Mom.
Wow.
Apparently, that's the breakup recovery starter kit for celebrity women now.
What,
I guess
a huge cock.
Pete Davidson specifically.
Oh,
yes,
a really thin, lanky white guy with a big fucking monster hog. Okay,
looks like he sleeps about an hour and a half every night.
He was. Well, let me not talk about some of these.
I was gonna say about the Will Smith and Chris Rock thing. I just, it's also a little bit of a nuance thing because I feel like when people were calling for his Oscar to be revoked and stuff, a lot of people I feel like kind of rightly said, well, what about they gave this guy Polanski, like a special ovation? Like there's a big hypocrisy with this Academy, and like all of a sudden, this is where you draw the line.
Yeah, a
slap.
The Polanski thing's a big deal.
And it is true with the other ones, they removed them from the Academy afterwards. But it's just, I just feel like the outrage that happened. I like the way Bill Burr kind of made the thing of where some people were saying, I love Bill Burr. And one of the things
Bill Burr's awesome.
Yeah.
He's a very good dude too. I met him.
And like one of the things they were saying was, some people were like, this is going to make it so dangerous for comedians. And Bill Burr was like, wait a minute, it's always been weird. He's like, have you ever seen security or the non-existent security at the clubs? You always run this risk. Him getting slapped is not an emboldening thing. Everyone was kind of making it about themselves as opposed to the situation. And I did think that was an issue.
Yeah.
And I think I saw you tweet something on one point, Chauncey. It's like the Will Smith thing happened like the exact same week that like the Ezra Miller stuff dropped. And it was just like no one's like everyone's trying to like punish Will Smith and everyone's like trying to like cuddle Ezra Miller. I don't remember exactly what you said, but it was something like, come on, guys. Like we're not treating these scenarios anywhere.
And I also was saying, like, if you have a hot take, just keep it in drafts. Like everyone doesn't need an article about this situation. It was unfortunate for both sides. I do think, Chris has a tendency. He has made jokes about Jada before. I think they had asked him not to do that. He went off script with this joke.
Oh, is that a fact? I didn't know that.
Well, he didn't say that joke at the rehearsal. And it was like, so he went off the cuff again. He did a joke at Jada last time when she boycotted the Oscars, and there's a question, especially with her hair and the whole idea of him having done a documentary about Black women and their hair and the politicizing of that and the history of that, to then go at her hair, it was kind of like, okay, so which is it? You know, I just think there was layers to it. And I didn't really like the fact that some people were suddenly, let's be real, like Will Smith had been the golden boy of Hollywood. You know?
Plus he was laughing at the joke when it was first told. Unless there's a weird edit or something where he's smiling. Like,
he turned over and saw her reaction, right? And that's when.
Yeah.
Well, we don't see that, but yeah, that's the obvious.
That's a little strange. Like, if you think it's funny, and I don't know. The thing that stuck with me was when after Will Smith said, "Keep my wife's name out of your fucking mouth," and he says, "I'm going to," he stops and he goes, "I could." And I knew, like, the asshole comedian in me knew he had something else. He had some sort of tag to that situation, and I'm dying to know what it was that was in his head that he wanted to say, because he cooled himself off and chose not to say it, because it could have got worse if whatever the fuck Chris Rock was thinking he said.
The way he handled the initial slap was actually really smooth, because I felt like, was this some sort of act or something?
It seemed
Will
staged.
Smith was yelling, I thought it was an act.
Yeah, it seemed staged, and he, like, the way it looked very scripted, because he went
until
with
you
it
watch
so
it in
well.
slow-mo, you go by, it might be fake.
Right, because his head was just such a violent movement.
The moment that made me realize it wasn't scripted was when I'm like, because I was thinking of going like, they got like a really good slap sound on it. Like, that almost felt like it, but then I'm like, wait, he's mic'd. He's standing in front of people. So it was his mic picked it up. But,
it's like, wow, they didn't make it sound like a theater slap. They made it sound like, arm brushing against the mic. Oh,
yeah, you knew it was real when the audience just shut up. And he's like, keep your fucking...
Lupita's face. When he's right
I forgot about that.
Yeah, Lupita's
because she was smiling about it too, probably thinking it was scripted. Then he says that. And she's just like, oh, shit.
Yeah. Get me out of this table.
Well, she posed with him afterwards. She partied with Will Smith afterwards, and she congratulated him.
Sure.
Well, you had to, like, Tiffany Haddish, she thought he was in the right, and she's a comedian.
She said that. Like, she doesn't. Yeah. She still says that he defended his wife. That's good for him.
Yeah, she stuck by it. So.
Yeah, but then there's that stuff that came out afterwards, like that footage of Jada like kind of berating him and stuff like that. That was all kind of weird.
Wait, what?
I mean, I guess not berating him, but there was like that footage, like Will Smith was asking her like not to film him or something like that, and she was just like, "Well, I'm going to do it. What are you going to do about it?" I don't know. It feels a lot like the Amber Heard situation again, where just like everyone involved is kind of an asshole in their own way, shape, or form.
Yeah, that's the truth behind it.
Hey, Hollywood! I love how Hollywood tells us how to act, because they know how to do it.
Yeah,
they know exactly how to do it.
Well, and the fact that
I take out my bathroom because I got a bed right here.
And the fact that it brought back to light so many of the like just weirdnesses of their marriage, and how maybe both of them weren't on the same page as far as
don't they have like a podcast or something where they talk about their
red table?
Yeah. Seems very cringe, but yeah, they have a podcast where mainly she talks about their relationship,
and she fucks around quite a bit, and he just kind of like.
Well, I mean, if you have an open marriage, you have an open marriage. I don't judge
that. He doesn't talk about it.
I don't know. No two people are exactly the same, man.
Yeah. Well, I did feel like they put too much emphasis after that too. There was a lot of slut shaming that went on about Jada after the slap, and it was like, what does that have to do?
What's that have to do with the hair?
Happened? All of a sudden you're shaming her, like, oh, he didn't do that to August, the guy she was sleeping with. I'm like, well, rumor has he was messing with Margaret Robbie. That's why she don't say certain things. So it's like,
that explains why Focus was so good.
They had an open thing. He agreed upon it. Whether you judge open stuff is on, it was just weird. There were so many different things going on with that situation. I was just like, let's just let it die.
For real.
Yeah,
It's like no one's gonna
absolutely.
be completely right about this. Like,
All right. You
Except
know
for
what,
me.
guys?
I'm always right. in
Let's-
everything, like.
Let's have fun talking about murder.
Let's do it.
X.
Mhm.
X.
I'm gonna have to duck out, guys.
Oh, okay, Bob.
Oh, dude,
why
Bob,
don't-
good to see you, man.
Well, hold on.
Yes, good
let
to
me
see
give
you guys.
let me give
Yeah,
Bob
it was
his.
a pleasure, man.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Bob,
Oh,
you got
oh.
anything going on your channel, and you want to you plug anything? or
Doing
what have
reaction
you?
stuff still, working hard on the Deep Space Nine video. Hope to get that out in
Oh,
a week
man.
or two. But oh my
Yeah.
god, it's so long. Oh my god, that thing's gonna be so long. But it's gonna
Yeah.
be
Because it's going to be amazing.
check it out. Yes,
Yeah.
it will. Yes, it will. Lindsay
Best of
recorded a
luck.
segment for it.
Best of luck, by
yeah.
the way, because I see you doing that anti-quartering shit, and you keep doing it, man. Because I'm not saying that like the extreme right and the extreme left deserve to be represented, but we need counterpoints. We certainly
we
need
do.
counterpoints. So
What's the name of the channel, man? I want to subscribe right now.
Oh, Organized Chaos.
Cool.
And there's also the Organized Chaos podcast, and that's me and Bobby Quarters, where we talk about movies. Usually we try to cover the big new movies, but we also talk about like random old movies too, like
Nice.
old movies nobody's ever thought to talk about. And it's like, hey, let's talk about that. Sure, what the fuck?
Also a good dude. Bobby Quarters is a good dude, too.
Yes.
And all right, well,
And I've subbed. Cool.
Bob will this is just goodbye. It's not the end. We'll figure something out.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, I'd love to be back on. This is fun.
Yeah.
If I
Awesome.
didn't work at 6 a.m., I would stay on.
All right, cool. Well, you have fun at work.
No, I will not. But thank you for the sentiment. No.
All right, take care, Bob.
Good to see your
guys
face, bud. Take it
Thanks
easy.
for having me.
Thanks for meeting me.
One down. All right. So now we're definitely doing cam shit. Oh, brain, why do you deceive me?
What part of the country is Bob in?
Bob's in Ohio.
Oh wow. Okay.
OHIO.
Where are you from, Patrick?
Canada.
Oh, cool. Okay.
Yeah, New Brunswick.
Why did you say that like that?
I'm the only Canadian. I just realized.
Well, we used to have.
I'm from the part
Peter
of the
on
country
show,
that isn't. Okay, so X. Have we all seen it?
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So Chauncey and Lindsay are on screen first. So we'll start with you. You could start with your score, your number score out of 5, and then just kind of how you feel about it, because it's getting a lot of good attention. And I'll open this up by saying I saw it late. I only saw it like last week. And I'm of the mind that when enough people say enough good things about something, I'm going to fucking hate it because my expectations just get higher and higher and higher and higher.
Burden of expectation, man.
Yeah.
Mention it all the time.
Fuego, you got to put that on a shirt, man. But yeah, I was
Good channel
shocked.
name, actually, Burden of Expectations. I'd subscribe to that channel. Like,
I was shocked at how much I enjoyed Texas Chainsaw Massacre without the chainsaw.
Yeah.
But Chauncey, X.
I gave it a B when I reviewed it. I liked it. When I first saw the trailer for it and everything, I thought, wow, this is going to be awesome. I didn't like it as much as I thought I was going to, though, for just a few reasons, not necessarily anything super glaring. I thought Brittany Snow and Kid Cudi were the standout characters for me. I thought they were the most fun and interesting.
Sure.
But I also liked how they subverted some of the tropes, some horror tropes that we've seen before. I thought the kills were kind of anticlimactic. I think that was what got, it's like I spent so much time with some of these characters and I thought they were off very quickly. It was I felt like before I knew it, we were at the last 2 survivors or whatever like that. And I was just like, man,
wow.
I thought there was going to be a bit more for some of these characters. So that felt a little anticlimactic for me. And,
Holy shit. Okay.
And overall, I thought it was okay. I thought it was really cool for being sex positive. Too.
Yes. Yes.
And it's so great to see a movie that really highlights sexuality without getting into exploitation of assault and things like that. I'm not a big fan of rape revenge horror. I think it's exploitative most of the time. So it was nice to kind of see something sexual, very sexual, but not fall into the trap of being about assault when it came to women. So, or men. So I was just like, wow, that's great. I love that.
You know, Kid Cudi, a couple times I was like, good for you. Look at that.
I mean, it was such a joke about his dick. I just thought it was hilarious. I thought, and even the conversations they had about sex and sexuality were really great. I was like, wow, this is really good.
It was such a grown-up movie. Like it
really was.
Americans are so prude. Like it was like when they're in the living room just kind of all having that conversation when the girl decides she wants to do a scene and the guy the director's like, no, because no. Like the conversation that they have is just so it's right. It's just so normal. It feels right.
Yeah.
Witnessing a girl.
Sorry.
No, I love how they played the Fleetwood Mac song in that scene too, when they're all just sitting around talking. So good.
Landslide.
But seeing the arc of the girlfriend though, who to the prudishness, and then just seeing the gears turning in her head and her progression over it, it was fascinating stuff, And as somebody who was raised very religious and is still kind of, I'm not going to say like closed-minded about sexuality, but definitely I have those stigmas from the way that I was raised. So it definitely made me think and raise questions, not just with prior relationships or current ones or whatever, but just sexuality in general.
Yeah. Yeah. Shit. I got rattled. Dice said A24's new slogan should be "Just fuck me up," and it just totally just emptied my skull. I don't know what the fuck I was gonna say.
Well, the exploration of aging was kind of fascinating too, and just the sadness of it, and just the longing for the youth that's been lost, and that was one of the more bittersweet, surprising things I think about it, was that it did have a little bit more heart in that regard, and then in the duality of like youth and the vigorousness of connecting with somebody in a physical manner, and then the just way that it's often lost to time, especially when you spend a lengthy amount of it with somebody, and just getting in the routines and stuff like that. And so, there was more layers than I was expecting to
Yeah.
It also blew my mind when I learned that the lead played the old lady.
Yeah, I didn't know it was her initially.
I was not ready for that. I spent the whole movie like, who is this old lady? She's so good.
I like that they did they did a reverse Chekhov's gun, but they gave us a Chekhov's gator.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up too. That shot was awesome.
Yeah. You guys, Lindsay and Patrick, go ahead, because help me jar my brain loose. And there's a couple things. I certainly want to combat what Chauncey said about the speed of things, because I felt like the first act was just all development.
The film took its time developing characters, but once the killing started,
sure, the third act
they
is
just got kept getting picked off. Yeah, that part I can see for sure.
Yeah.
But
it was interesting.
That felt anticlimactic. It was just like 1 minute the dude, and then he's stabbed in the eye. I was like, okay, he's dead. All right. That's it. No fight, nothing.
Like, who are you gonna have him fight?
What, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
There was that one death in particular where I was not expecting that character to get it without spoiling it, especially with the other movie that that actor was in just a few months ago, and getting a lot of top billing and some of the posters and whatnot.
I was happy they did that.
Yeah.
because that was also a subversion, right?
Mm-hmm.
In a
Right.
way.
Yeah,
considering.
the movie's incredible for the amount of you like tropes? Fuck you. we're gonna do this now.
And there was something it put a spell on me almost. Like it wasn't until after the movie was over that it really clicked. Like how long that first act and how long the first half of the second hour, or however you want to divide up that. Who knows? It didn't really click for me how long it took for that first kill to happen until I was kind of thinking about it on the ride home, and then everybody was like, "Oh wait, that was like most of the movie was over with before that guy got stabbed."
Exactly.
But like. I don't know, like the fact that I didn't even think about it. I was just kind of just engrossed in this interesting story that was. It reminded me a lot of Scream 5 because Scream 5 kept
dare
saying,
you, sir?
Well, they kept saying like, "Oh, elevated horror," and then they just kind of made a dumb horror movie. But this was just like, no, we're gonna like really shoot this and like make it something special when they're talking about porn. And no, they're talking about horror movies and. I don't know. I guess I was entranced with it, is a way to say it.
Yeah.
And like when she's in the house and the husband's gone, like you're terrified of the husband the entire time.
Yes.
And then when she's the one that, again, no spoilers, like it kept just finding new ways to suck me in and getting me engaged. And I just really liked it. It was just a hell of a ride at the movie theaters. And I sometimes don't like the first couple seconds of a movie kind of showing you what's going to get paid off later, because I feel like that spoils it, but it kind of worked in this one because I
think they did that to keep the gore hounds happy. Just
Maybe.
like look here, shit's going to go down. Just don't leave.
Here's a morsel right away.
Right.
Don't abandon us with the pacing here.
Yeah.
And Dice just made a really good point in the comments too. The first person to die is the one dude in the whole movie who doesn't have sex.
Oh,
that is
shit.
just trope inversion.
Oh,
the camera guy.
The camera guy. Yeah, that's right.
Well,
I was thinking of the
shouldn't have been so possessive.
It's true. No, that's literally what got him killed. Like, who knows what would have happened
That's what
if he
started
wasn't.
it off.
Yeah, I thought Mia Goth was great in her dueling roles, though. And she's just that scene at the beginning where she's like talking about like you're a fucking star or whatever, and those aspirations, and playing both roles. It showed how much she had to stretch her skills, and I mean being under the makeup and stuff too.
And it'll be interesting because we're supposed to get a prequel.
They shot at the same time,
and it's just I'm wondering what that story is gonna look like at all. Like how's that gonna work? How they're gonna tell that story? So that's really interesting. Once again, I think it's a thing of what kind of a like a movie that doesn't have a franchise behind it. It's nice to see those coming around.
Yes, absolutely.
Wait, did I hear you say correctly? They actually are making the prequel. I thought that was just a cute stinger. They're actually going to make it.
They shot it at the same time.
It was filmed already.
Yeah, they secretly shot it.
Yeah, it's already in post-production.
I mean, this year, isn't it?
Yeah.
Supposed to be?
That makes me love this movie even more then. Okay, yeah that's dope. Okay, all right.
And then there's also reportedly Ty West has ideas for a sequel too, where it's going to follow the religious aspect and maybe explore her family after she gets away, and some of that other stuff that they touched upon. So
don't wear yourself too thin.
Right.
You got a really good idea.
That's what I thought when I was like, man, franchise another way right off the bat.
We don't need a new franchise all the time. Sometimes it's just great to have a nice standalone movie.
A trilogy.
Let
maybe
me
a
move
trilogy.
on.
Yeah.
Let us move on and marinate on it. I'd rather it be something that I love, that I moved on and I want more, than something that stuck around too long. There's too much of that.
I was literally thinking about that last night because The Gentleman hit Netflix, and I was like, "Oh, that's such a great movie. They should never make a sequel to that."
Well, they're making a TV show, aren't they?
Oh no! Don't say that. No.
I think they're making The Gentleman into a TV show.
Boo! I say.
Maybe it's only in Canada.
That's Hollywood. It's the difference.
I heard Guy Ritchie's behind it, like writing and directing.
That might be good then, because
I thought he was doing Sherlock 3.
Oh, is that finally happening?
I thought.
Decade later.
Maybe COVID screwed that up. Oh.
He's got so much going on, man. He's a busy dude.
Yeah,
gotta respect it.
I like the fact that for once, I can show a slasher, a horror movie to like a film fan, and not feel like embarrassed, because there are visual storytelling elements that are used in this movie. There are parallels to religion. There are parallels to, like, there's lots of things that are going on with the storytelling. I mean, the
Chekhov's gator, like you said.
the
Yeah.
Chekhov's gator, yeah. The God's eye view, they use that a couple of times.
They do.
And then they have the fucking, what do you televangelist, like that's a constant theme throughout. And then you find out that the big surprise with that thing. But something that I thought was so subtle and isn't really that big a deal, but like it says everything. This is me and my film school nerdery coming through.
Nerd.
Yeah. They say with visual storytelling, if you can tell somebody what you're doing without having any lines of dialogue,
Yep.
you're doing a good job.
Yep. Show don't tell, for sure.
The opening shot looks like a 4x3 shot of the barn, and you think, oh, okay, it takes place in the 70s, and it holds for 5-6 seconds, but slowly but surely you dolly through the barn, and then it looks like the doors are opening up to give you a full screen, and it brings you into the present of the moment. And I thought that was really, really well done. Like, all right, we're watching a movie from the past, but we're now being brought into it, and it's just this silly 5-second shot that nobody will really talk about, but I am, so fuck it.
Sometimes those are my favorite parts of movies, when like something's just there and you don't really understand it, but then you kind of think like what The Nice Guys. The movie opens on a reverse shot of the Hollywood sign. And the first time I saw it, I didn't really think about it. But then after I'd seen the whole movie and how it talks, like the movie talks about how like, the things you have to do to like sell things and like, get like the marketing value of stuff as like the sex appeal and things in order to get like the movie about the cars out there. But then you realize like the reason why it opens on like the backside of the Hollywood sign is because the movie's showing the ass of Hollywood. like what you really need to do to actually make movies. And it's so subtle, but I fucking loved it.
Yeah, exactly. There's I mean, the homages too. I mean, shit, there's a basket full of them. They literally, like, they set up the Texas Chainsaw Massacre shot like that, that hallway to the door, like that shot's there. They give you the Psycho down the stairs shot. They give you the Shining through the fucking axe door shot. Like there's so much like fucking tribute to horror in this movie. It's fucking cinema. Fuck.
Did we talk about the editing?
No.
If we did and I missed it, I'm sorry. Because there's like a couple times that they transition between scenes where it's like you're watching the old scene.
Yeah.
That just, it sucked me in every time they did that, and it just made it be on edge in a way I don't really know how to explain, and I'm like worried other films will emulate it and it won't work, but God, did I love it in this movie.
Has that ever happened before? Because I've never seen an edit like that before in my life.
And then when they did it the second time, it was like, okay, yeah, you guys are swinging for it. But I think you're right. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It was, and like they did it when they transitioned from the shop to the car wreck. And then, like, in between them shooting one of the sex scenes and what's-her-face swimming in the water. And then there was a third one. I don't remember what the third one was, but they did it at least 3 times.
And they have, you know what? They have these little jokes, too, that are just, I feel like every YouTube movie reviewer needs to watch the movie and pay attention to the jokes. Because the filmmaker when Brittany Snow's asking him, like when he's getting gas, she's asking him about the shot, and he's like, "Well, the angle is," blah, 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 blah. And she's like, "Well, if you hold it here, it looks like it's coming out of his cock." and then he changes it, and it's just like, yeah, see, no schooling necessary.
And also how dude was like not wanting his vision and like
Yeah,
right.
or whatever.
Yeah,
He didn't
yeah.
want to give any credit for something.
He was such a snooty piece of shit. Like,
Exactly.
there you go,
Pretentious.
you fucking asshole.
We're making elevated porn. We're gonna make like the smartest,
Yeah.
most high concept.
Yeah.
I was kind of hoping there'd be like some kind of homage, like Debbie Does Dallas or something. There might have been a subtle one that I didn't catch.
Taking
up on.
place in Texas. I mean, you know.
Oh, it is. You're right. It is in Texas. Okay, yeah. There you
And
go,
they
there
even
you go.
talk about it at one point, don't they? If I remember.
Oh, they
correctly.
did. You're right. They
Yeah.
split. Okay, never mind. Ignore me. But yeah, but yes to Jake in the chat. Brittany Snow was a better director than Mr. Film School.
She was my favorite character. She really was.
So good. She really was.
So great in that movie.
I don't know.
Every
Brittany Snow should
character
be
in
in
this
more
film
things.
was great. They were all like likable,
Yeah.
and yet they all had an asshole quality to them as well.
Yeah.
But you understood why they were being assholes in that particular moment. Like,
Right.
good characters and good dialogue are like this film has it for sure.
In a
which I
horror
love.
movie,
Mhm.
in
Yeah,
a
exactly.
slasher movie,
And
like
then even Miss Squeaky Clean, you know, they eventually gave her like a little ripple of edge as well when you thought she was going to be the goody two shoes, you know, and so.
yeah, that was strange. I didn't know how I felt because she looked 12, and I was like, no,
Yeah.
no, please no, I don't. Oh, she's doing a scene.
Well, they didn't actually show her naked on camera, did they? So if she
Yeah.
wasn't,
No.
if her character was underage, you know, like the actress was obviously of age, but if the
I
character
think
was
she was topless, but from
Oh,
Oh, they were in
she's only-
college.
She's only 19 right now, and I'm sure they shot this film like last year.
oh boy, she looks really young. I just listen.
I loved her death in particular because like it was so cowardly after like being like the good girl and like such a great inversion of the heroic good girl and the survive and I don't know, again, just subverting expectations.
Yeah.
Again. It was
Yeah.
such like cold and like bam, and she's out of the movie.
And
Yeah.
the randomness of it all too, like just like the gator, man, just the fucking
When they foreshadowed the gator, I was like, if they don't do something with the gator, I swear to God, I am going to be pissed.
yeah. It just all right. You know what? We're gonna do a horror special,
Huh.
and because we're coming up on 3 hours here.
Yeah. I got my
God, we are.
lady looking at me like, are we going to eat dinner? Like, what's going on? And I'm just like, sure, no.
All right. So Fuego, give us the meat and potatoes from the news, and then we'll shut her down here.
Yeah, and
Don't
it's,
forget the onions.
yeah, and it's going to be kind of a lightning round, I suppose. Because
Yeah. That's what I mean. Just cut the shitty shit.
Yeah, with CinemaCon this past week, there was a lot of sequels announced. Some expected, and others definitely not. Like Venom 3. Why would anybody be surprised that they announced that, and that's going to be a thing? And also with the success of Ghostbusters Afterlife, the fact that they officially confirmed that they are doing another one. We don't know if the kid is going to return. Right? It's what Reitman's son. I think he did it, right?
Yeah. Here's my question about Ghostbusters 3. I guess Afterlife 2 or whatever it's going to be. Is it going to be about the kids or is it going to be about the old ghosts? Because like the last 10 minutes of Afterlife stops being about the characters we've been following the entire movie, and it becomes entirely
That's a
about
brilliant
the old
call.
Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
I mean, so like, what's the sequel going to be? Anyway, but sorry. That's
No, you're right. Afterlife
Yeah.
for 90% is about these kids, and then the last 10%, it's like, hey, remember parts 1 and 2?
Yeah, and that's and I honestly felt like that was a detriment to the movie.
I agree.
To be honest,
I agree.
And it was a similar issue that I had with the fifth Scream movie earlier this year. Was unlike Scream 4, it somehow juggled both the legacy characters and the new characters much better than Scream 5 did, in my opinion, where they just felt kind of like a gimmicky afterthought. And in some ways, I mean, maybe not Janine, but like most of the other, like just the scene at the end, it didn't induce as much emotion in me as it did for like Cecil when we reviewed it, or some of my other
How
friends.
did they know to go there?
Yeah. And if Egon took all the gear 30 years ago, how did they have gear when? I mean, that's me nitpicking. I'm cinema sins-ing. I admit it, but like it's still bugged me in the moment.
Yeah. So those first two, not surprising, but the one that I was shocked about was they announced The Nun 2. So if we're gonna the horror contingent, and I guess
I'm excited.
Stop.
I didn't hate the original one like a lot of people did. I thought Frenchie was funny. I liked Tysa. So it just probably had a much campier tone than a lot of people I think were anticipating. It also shot really dark. Yeah,
which is counterproductive if you're going to be campy.
Yeah, but there's a second Nun movie, and as far as like they still haven't done The Crooked Man, which they announced after Conjuring 2.
Oh, that's right.
And I didn't really like the director that they have coming in. I believe it's the same dude who did Conjuring 3 and Curse of La Llorona. So I was a little underwhelmed by both of those, to be honest. And so I was not expecting a Nun sequel. So
I'll give The Nun this. It has one of my favorite lines in movie history when they get like the orb, like this is the blood of Jesus Christ, and one of the guys is like, "Holy shit!" and someone responds, "The holiest." That's just good line. That's just good dialogue.
I hate you, Lindsay. I
love you, Steve.
As I double checked though, as they mentioned in this article, it was the highest grossing film internationally of any of the Conjureverse films. So that
my God,
that includes La Llorona and the Conjuring.
You shut your mouth, Chauncey. I don't want to hear anything.
Was quality as I stare at my poster of the Nun on the wall and my screensaver of the Nun on my computer screens. I enjoy this movie, and I, for one, am glad it's you know, but you know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, it was good, and people hated on it.
I'm happy for you. I really am happy for you. I have no rush to see it, but I'm glad.
I'm confused though, because isn't Valak? I mean, you say the Crooked Man isn't happening yet, but it's weird because I thought the Crooked Man was supposed to be the sequel to the Nun because Valak is the demon.
Oh, so maybe they're just going to merge them because
that'd be interesting.
Like right after Conjuring 2, they announced there was going to be a Nun movie, and then they announced there was going to be a Crooked Man movie, and we got the Nun. And so maybe they're merging, and they're just going to dub it as the Nun because the previous one made so much money.
Yeah, because Valak is the same. It's the same demon.
It could COVID have something to do with the scheduling of all this?
Possibly.
It affected everything. It's hard to deny.
I mean,
we didn't even get a chance to talk about it, but the Uncharted, I found out the first day it started shooting was when COVID got declared a thing, and they immediately had to shut down like 2 hours into production or something like that. Wow. And then they were one of the first movies to return to production, and knowing that it's one of the first movies to return to production explains a lot about that movie if you really Fast
X. What do you got? You want to fill us in on that?
That's not one that I know an intense amount of details about.
Oh, the director stepped out.
I just know Justin Lin left, and it's apparently because of the fact that Vin Diesel is difficult to deal with on set, or so.
Actually, I do have a comment about that.
It's about family, though.
Yeah. Obviously, Vin Diesel is a thing. He's got a bit of an ego about him. No one's going to try and deny that here. But I did read a thing where Justin Lin talked about like the process of making a lot of these Fast and the Furious movies and how they're constantly shifting. Like the script is never locked. Like the movie is shooting right now, and like it's already lost its director. They haven't even cast the villain yet, and they're already started shooting. And like, a lot of action scenes live and die on whether or not Vin Diesel says yes or no to the idea of them. So like,
dude, who the hell is Vin Diesel?
He's some dude. I think he was in a movie Black Pitch or something like that, and like there's something called like Riddick.
What has he carried outside of Fast and the Furious? Like
Last Witch Hunter,
Guardians of the Galaxy.
The guy can't carry a movie.
Iron Giant.
I heard the director of the Transporter 1 and 2 got Fast X.
Yeah, that's confirmed. That's confirmed.
Yeah.
Leterrier or Letire or something.
I'm looking at the Variety article right now. Louis Leterrier?
Leterrier, that's it.
That's exactly
That'd be
why I
interesting.
said the Transporter director.
Transporter movies are fun. Why not? Like,
And he did the Incredible Hulk, apparently.
oh, did he?
No, the one with
Not the Ang Lee one.
not the.
Oh, the old TV show. Okay, cool.
Yeah, he's been around a while. He's an aging director for sure.
Anything else, Fuego?
Well, I mean, it's some of it is a little bit older news, and
Anything important? How about that?
Well, the fact that they're finally moving forward again with a Crow remake is something that I found intriguing.
Wow.
So we talked a little bit about it. Yeah. Yesterday on the horror show news, we were talking about it briefly, and so it's apparently going to be Bill Skarsgård. They've tried to get this project
To be the Crow.
To be the Crow. So they've
Hi,
tried.
Emily.
They tried with Jason Momoa. They tried with Bradley Cooper was attached at one point. Luke Evans, who I think Luke Evans actually could have.
That would have been actually, yeah, I would be down with Luke Evans. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, but it looks like it's going to be Skarsgård, and so we'll see if. I've been following the story for years of they get a new star attached and then it gets derailed or whatever. But this seems like one of the best shots that they've had for a while. He does look a lot like Draven, at least back to the comic books. You have to grow his hair out a little more, get a little more of a shag going down. But he's got those deep kind of like ghostly eyes almost that I think would really be befitting of the character. So yeah, I'm a big fan of the original James O'Barr comic book. And the first film has one of the best soundtracks ever. And so I don't know, what do you guys think about a Crow remake?
I want it to be darker, if that's possible.
But who directed the original Crow? Was it the guy that did Gods of Egypt, or am I thinking of someone else?
Was it Besson who did it?
Luc Besson?
Was it? I know it was the same guy who did. Oh, shit, I gotta look now.
Well, I know there's some controversy going on around it because FKA Twigs, who I love, is also being
Alex Reyes
was cast as the co-lead. And what the director is saying is that her role is going to, as the girlfriend, her role is going to be even more centralized. And it's going to take a bigger role in the whole lore of it. So of course that made some people on Reddit and other things mad because they're like, oh, they're making the Crow woke. And because first FKA Twigs is a Black British woman. And then they're like, oh my gosh, I bet you they're going to center the woman in this. Watch, she ends up being the actual Crow. Watch it. And I'm just like, can we just see where this movie goes?
Right.
And then you have some people who are mad that there even is going to be a Crow movie. And I'm just like, well, I feel like, as others said, it was this thing where some people didn't know that it was actually something before the other movie came out, that there's actually like a whole comic and stuff with it. And some of them are like, why do we need a remake? It's like, there's a whole plot and stuff going on with that thing that they could explore. So,
and they made a bunch of sequels too. Like a shit ton of Crow movies went like direct to video, and they even had a TV series at one point.
They did,
Yeah, I'd like it to be dark, but not 90s dark.
90s dark.
Because it's like it was made during that, that time where rain and no lighting was like dark. Like give me tone, not a lack of lighting. You don't have to. You're not filming Seven. You could find other ways to make it bleak. Please.
You don't need to emulate that one episode of Game of Thrones that no one could see.
What studio's doing it?
It's got to be Warner.
I'm gonna say it's Paramount, but I'm gonna have to double check the article.
It's not Disney.
So we don't have to worry about it possibly being PG-13 like they might do with Blade.
It makes me wonder. If Crow's PG-13, it's a very R-rated source material.
That's always a not good thing when you start seeing that. Although I guess I do still kind of stand by the original Mortal Kombat. Sorry, go ahead, dude.
The director also doesn't get me excited for who's attached to direct the remake.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Directed Ghost in the Shell with Scarlett Johansson.
That guy.
And Snow White and the Huntsman.
Yeah.
Or was it?
I like
sequel?
that movie.
I was okay. Yeah, I didn't mind it.
If it was the first one, that was great.
Yeah, the second one's kind of. And I love what's her face that they brought in to be like the counterpart. She's so good, but she couldn't say that.
Damn, I can't find what studio's doing.
I'm looking too.
Mm.
I
know the rights have also bounced around a lot, and so that's another thing that hindered the production of it getting remade.
Right.
There's such a shift happening when it comes to movies and streaming and all this other stuff. It'll be interesting to see where the chips fall when it comes to who's controlling what IP and all this other stuff, especially,
especially with Netflix possibly falling. Like it's good. The whole market feels like it's like on the precipice of like a huge change for better or for worse.
Yeah.
Yeah, as to if it'll even go theatrical or if it'll just be on a streamer or what the hell the deal will be with regards to that. Yeah, lots of other stuff I'm looking at. It's a little more outdated, or it's TV news. And since we've kept it like strictly on movies, probably don't need to delve into any of that.
Casper, I don't get to rant about the Halo show. Come on, dude.
The original is Miramax.
Yeah.
Okay.
So Weinstein.
Yeah.
Well, Miramax.
Whoever owns it now. Oh, they're owned by Paramount. I didn't know Miramax is owned by Paramount. That's interesting.
Yeah, dude, it's so hard. They the back and forth and shit.
Yeah.
I just know New Line's always Warner. I don't know why they never sell New Line for some reason.
How's the Freddy built? Yep.
Anything else?
Not in particular.
All right, that's good.
Just go see everything everywhere all at once.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
Go see the Northman.
That
too. Yeah.
If we don't support things that are attached to like Marvel, we won't keep getting them. They won't keep taking chances on them.
Things that Disney doesn't make toys of. We're in deep shit.
But it's kind of giving them the excuse not to make movies like that, not to green light movies that with budgets.
You're right.
I mean, Moonfall wasn't great, but I mean, back in the day, it probably would have done better. But now it's like, well, who's that? What's this from? You can't even put a lot of money behind something that doesn't have a toy.
That's why it kills me that the new Edgar Wright was just kind of okay, because I desperately want him to have a budget. But what the hell was the name of it?
Last night in
Soho.
I enjoyed that.
I enjoyed it too, but
last year.
It's my least favorite Edgar Wright movie.
Yeah.
I saw that on my birthday, and I love the twist that the guy that they thought was the asshole the whole time was actually named Lindsay. It made me and my whole little birthday party go like, woo!
Aww. Did you have a balloon?
No, my friends suck. They didn't give me a balloon.
Holding these balloons.
All right. Well, we'll stick with you, Lindsay. What do you got? What do you got?
Not much. My life's a bit chaotic.
Oh no! Hold on.
Am I here?
I fucked up.
Am I real? There I am. Okay. Hi, me.
No, we didn't cut off when you said my life's been fucked. And
That's amazing.
That's meta.
Yeah, come on, Screen 5, get on my level. I can do this.
It's those happy accidents, right?
So I just started a new job, serving and bartending. Well, I mean, beer tending. We don't have hard alcohol, so it's just lots of beer. Some foreign ones that are super fun. So that's eating up a lot of my time. And I'm also I'm working on a project with some old family friends who both work in the industry, and they're trying to get like a YouTube channel going about cooking, like old recipes and stuff like that. And one of them has she makes her living like making the food that people eat on camera. Like she made the egg sandwich from Harley Quinn that Margot Robbie was trying to eat the whole movie. And so I've been helping them do the editing on that. And
that's
so
interesting.
it's been fun. No, and they're great. And her mom is the prop mistress for Stranger Things. I love these guys. They're super fun and super cool, and I'm having a lot of fun helping them out. But I've got no free time, so my channel is going to be just dead for a while. Sadly, if I can like find 5 minutes to squeak a video out, I'll do it. But I've got a huge backlog of videos. If anyone wants to check out my 2 cents of nonsense, some of them make sense. Some of them are just kind of rambling.
Sharp.
Check them out. They're fun.
Shanti.
Well, I recently put out a review of the Batman and also Wormwood. Upcoming the direct one of X as well. I just finished writing some scripts for an upcoming series that will be not on my channel, on something else. And I'm really excited about it. I hope it should be coming out once I'll promote all stuff and contract, blah, 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 this summer. Hopefully be premiering. I also recently did an interview for an upcoming series, docu-series about science fiction movies that will have like Carpenter's wife and others in it.
That's awesome.
And things like that. So yeah, just doing a lot of like projects, still writing a lot of my articles. So you can find my written articles on Rotten Tomatoes. I am now also a Cherry Picks approved critic, which is kind of like the female counter to Rotten Tomatoes.
Oh, good for you. Fuck Rotten Tomatoes. You know what?
I'm still on both.
Yeah, well, still fuck Rotten Tomatoes.
So I'm doing both of those. So yeah, just continuing to try to build my portfolio of talking about film and film history. And
good for you. You're beating the shit out of the rest of us. That's good.
Nah.
You go, girl.
Fuego.
Yeah, so we do have a review on the horror show channel up of X, which we discussed so extensively. We actually just got over about a week or so ago of like a big scare where our channel was hacked and taken over.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and we did not have any access to it for 16 days. And him and I were just starting our coverage of the Phoenix Film Festival the morning that it happened. And we also had press for Morbius that morning, so it was just like the shit hit the fan at like the worst possible time.
That's crazy.
Finally regained it. It was a hell of a process for Cecil. I'm glad that him being the showrunner and creator and everything, he took the reins and kicked ass and stayed vigilant because it was it was tough there for a minute. We also have
shit.
Yeah, it sucks. We weren't even sure if we were going to be able to remedy it because of the fact that. They were asking for like a 21-digit like account number sort of thing tied in.
What?
Like he also subscribed for YouTube TV, and so like he was locked out of his regular email. It was just it was a nightmare of a situation. But we're back up. We're still trying to get all of the almost 4,000 videos like back up live because since the channel was turned private, they made it turned every video private. So we had to go back and remake public all near 4,000 videos that we've been as a channel for like 8 years. The tediousness was brutal, but we're almost like completely back up and running. Also a review of The Northman, which we discussed. And I also launched a little while back a program called Barker at the Moon, my little nod to Clive Barker. And
that's cool.
And the Ozzy Osbourne song. So it's been fun going through his books of blood, his selection of short stories. Lots of people know that I cover a shit ton of Stephen King, and check out Firestarter here in about 10 days, which I'm excited for. But just getting into somebody who's a little bit more adventurous with his sordidness of storytelling.
Yeah, he's a twisted fuck.
He is a different beast in general. So, And then we're also going to be reviewing Doctor Strange this weekend.
Of course. Who isn't? Who isn't?
I just have to finish Moon Knight in time. Just don't,
I didn't even
know
start
I'm going to have it.
I need to start that too. I forgot.
Just for Oscar, nothing else. Just for Oscar.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, Ethan Hawke.
Ethan Hawke's the villain. That's right. Yeah, he's the villain. Yeah.
That's two. That's good.
Patrick.
My channel's kind of been lacking too because multiple reasons. One, life. Two, I just got in a rut kind of just doing things what I think I should do for YouTube instead of doing what I want to do.
Yeah.
So now I'm bringing my wife on a bit because I have a giant list of movies that she hasn't seen. Last night we just watched Seven for her for the first time.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And now we're gonna record her quick thoughts on that. And I'm just going to be talking about new films, old films that I just want to watch and want to talk about. I'm going to hopefully be doing more live streams because I do like interacting with people and being a lively conversation rather than just sitting in front of a camera.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm going to be reviewing the Final Destination franchise in the next couple days.
Nice.
And hopefully more live streams and a lot of movies that my wife is going to be reviewing with me.
And the name of the channel?
Movie Talk Plus.
Where
I talk about movies as a fan, not a critic.
Oh, well, don't tell Chauncey that. She's a critic twice over. Hi everyone, it's me. It's BCP. So I did a spoiler stream with Dice Roland about X 2 nights ago. Speaking of life, that's been a major cause for lack of content. I am here in my mother's house. This is a small room in my mother's house. All 4 rooms of our old apartment are somehow stuffed either in here or in a storage facility. We've been trying to deal with that as much as possible. We just got our first electric bill. My mom nearly had a stroke. To alleviate that, we did a couple of streams to raise money. And to alleviate that, in exchange for the money, we're gonna sit.
I saw this.
We're gonna sit my mother down, and she's going to react to a Serbian film.
Oh, whoa!
And I'm going to film it. So,
wow.
Wow.
Entertainment. My mom likes rom-coms, and she's going to sit and watch a Serbian film. And I will film it, and I will. It won't be live, so I'll be able to, as best I can, without getting nicked with copyrights or, like NSFW stuff. I'm going to try to show you what she's seeing without showing you what you can't see. So we'll be filming that this week. So that should be up soon. If not this weekend, next weekend.
Cool.
And other than that, it's probably live streams for a bit because there's no room. There's just no fucking room. My bed's right here, the TV's right there, and the door out is right there. So we're in tight quarters. And now I can't get everybody else back. Up. There we are. Hey. Okay. So that about does it. Thanks everybody for joining us. Thanks everybody in the chat. I can't give you an honest explanation as to when we'll be back, at least as far as I'm concerned. But we'll be back. That's the best thing I can say is we'll be back. Maybe not next week, maybe not 2 weeks from now, but we'll figure it out. Like Patrick said, like I said, life happens, and it's a little messy right now. So just sit tight, and you'll hear from us when you hear from us. Other than that, who wants to say goodbye?
Peace out.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. This is